Greetings and salutations, Ben here, you there, and John? Nope, nowhere to be found. No, actually, John's internet went down, so, his brothers in arms. Okay, we got your back, bud. So the cavalry came, so things just got, should I say better? Yeah, I'm saying it better.
Yeah.
Maybe just
random spontaneity.
Things got interesting. How about that?
Yeah, interesting to say the least.
Started with the text from John going, I don't have internet. I'm like, well, that kind of hurts for an internet-based show. And then so I messaged our good friend Trev, producer to the Stars and Us. Well, no, really, it's just us. All right. Well, are we starting? No. All right. But I try to mess Trev, and I'm like, hey, you want to be a backup situation? Well, come on, we'll eat a couple edibles. Shit, I don't know. And he's like, yeah, not a problem, bro. And then I was like, hey, I remember a show once where a certain fellow got into way too many lifestyle choices on air. I'm not mentioning And, he may have been part of the Show Me Your Pick crew, and we had the entire Show Me Your Pick crew come on to kind of bail him out of the situation. And then he left. And then I was more shocked when he came back. I'm like, I thought you would have been passed out for the night based off lifestyle choices. But
Indeed.
Nope, he came back.
Funny world.
Hey, welcome, Trav. We got Ryan and Randy. Yeah, right. We're all kinds of people here. It's awesome.
Right on.
Well, got any questions for any of us? Ask away or ask away. I don't judge. I might mock, but I don't judge. There's a difference. I don't know what the difference is, but I'm sure there's a razor thin line in there somewhere. Suppose I could do roll call. Wow, we got 53 people in here. Woo. It's like John has a following or something. It's like, it's like the bar owner hires your band, right? He's like, can you bring people? You're like, I'm here to entertain your clientele. It's like,
right.
Let's see, who do we got first? Oh, yeah. 11:46 a.m. this morning. Our good friend Earl. What are we drinking, Ben? Went with A&W root beer because I got pulled ribs and a tickle in my throat, so I want something thick.
To give us a chance to guess.
Judge.
I would have said some kind of root beer. I was going to guess.
Then we got Zach Thong, brother Zach.
Paul McNary, Eric, Chef Eric. Good to see you.
Mary, I don't know, and the cats. There's no cat emojis, but they're lurking.
What's up, Paul?
And Ryan,
I'm always suspicious when they don't put the cat emoji.
And then Terry's 333 Gs because he's analog tonight. So we'll just do that. JPPH2, he knows about analogs and some digitals too, because he gets, I don't know. Synthesizers, they have that gray area. I don't know.
Yeah.
Billy Baloney's here. Dave Chase, Cushman NYC. All great cats. They didn't carpool.
Dave Chase.
Scotty Brockway here. Turns out Scott Brockway's good friends with a guitar player from Trooper. Messed me up. He goes, do you know that? I'm like, he's played with Trooper for 25. Tim Hewitt. He's been a fixture of the Vancouver music scene for a quarter century at this point. Cool. I think he also plays in Prism. He's one of those dudes. He played like 4 classic Canadian bands at this point because we do that. Even in the U.S. Well, Canadians doing that. I'm looking at you, Randy Cook, drummer for 14 bands. He'd go to a festival. He's like, I'm playing 8 times today. Cardio. Who else? Tangents, right? Charles 75N, the good doctor, is here. Marsha Murray. We like Marsha Murray. He's a cat. Michael Krause, always good for insulting me at some point during a live stream or in my own Facebook group. That's always nice. Josh Tamberg's kind of lurking, maybe. No, because he said he'd be back, so he's not here as I read this. But who knows? Could be catching the replay. Hip Metalworks is here. Always great to see Hip. Jean Leet, a.k.a. Devin Cinderwitz. Sure. Who else we got? More people talk to each other because they're all polite that way. Actually, it's because we hadn't started yet, and they're just hanging out, talking. Hey, what do you think about the show? I don't know. Lawrence Cash Velasquez here.
Right on.
6-string Stanger. Great to see you, Dave. What? And the Mitch Heyman is here. What's up, Mitch? It's great to see you with Charles today.
What's up, Mitch?
Charles Verde, as opposed to good doctor.
The guitar IT connoisseur.
I could have just copied and pasted a couple weeks ago. I get up, I watch Chatting with Charles with guest Mitch Heyman. So, Charles and Mitch in the chat. Then, an hour later, Charles Green goes live with Mitch, and I'm like, yo, Charles and Mitch. Sure. There's my cousin Doug. He just drove by. He's on his way back home after some cornhole tournament up in Ottawa, the nation's capital, all weekend. He went live like 43,000 times on the face space.
What up, Doug?
Yeah, great to see Doug. Drive safe, Doug. Remember, someone cuts you off, you can't honk at him. You got no horn.
And if you're out there in traffic and you see Doug, let him in.
Let him in.
Let him in.
Have a long drive. The fella's driving. Geez, it's got to be about a 6-hour drive. And I'm right in the middle because he was going to stop in. I'm like, don't. So,
just no.
just don't.
Yeah.
Actually, he was offering to pick up dinner and stop in, and I was like, I'm laying down, dude. I'm not doing well. So, Steve V is here. You can tell by the way that he types.
He's here.
Arf is here. Fellow Canuck, Ontarian, actually. Richard Clark is here. He's a channel member. If you want to be cool like Richard, click the join button. Why don't you? Just saying. Who else we got here? Unfucking believable. He was last week's guest, and it was an unfucking believable show.
Right on. How many more Parkers has he bought since last week?
Oh,
Never know.
well, after the previous week where he dropped, it was a Thursday and Saturday, I think he bought the Gretsch Nashville, which is not a cheap Gretsch, and then the anniversary Strat. So he's like, yeah, I think I'm good for gear for a while. I'm like, I'm thinking you are too, bud.
Until next week, anyway.
Until he finds the Parker, and then
Right.
it's local, and
It has to do with lifestyle choices. I mean, it depends. If you're looking, you're scanning through Marketplace and Reverb, and you got your favorites, and I mean, you're going to see more than you maybe should.
Right. Oh, there's Jimmy Biter right there.
Oh, Jimmy.
What's up? Yeah. That's a new, we have to greet Jimmy in that manner. What's up?
Yeah.
Exactly. There's Michael B.
Right on.
I don't know how we'll go until I don't, Michael.
You never know now. I mean, we're into the undiscovered country, as they would say.
Notable.
It's not the best Star Trek, but I mean, it was a good title.
Who else we got here? Ferd Burfel. What's up, Ferd?
How's it going, Ferd?
Himself. Wayne McConnell. He's out Treb's way. He's out in Kelowna.
Right on.
Okanagan.
Live Sova. He's here. Noise Bloom's here. Who else we got?
Can I just say a lot of familiar names I'm seeing over from my channel over here? What a great community that we've got.
That's what I love. Yeah, I know. Like, really, especially if, I'm going to just say it right now. If you're a middle-aged white guy who plays guitar and have no social life, Sundays are fucking epic if you're on YouTube, right? Because
that's true.
Bam, it's like, well, I guess if you're into sports, like all the good sports are on Sundays usually. It's, I watch this and this and this and this. I love it.
It starts with Charles. It goes into a Charles. It goes into an us and into a you. And it's an all-day event. And Sunday's the busiest day of the week.
Horn kid that kind of comes up mid-afternoon. I think he's going to do all right. If he keeps at it,
he may be okay.
He's looking so good with that long hair. I mean, yeah.
Damn near nailed it. There we go. I'm some medals.
What would the chances been of you being able to get Pete Thorne to join our show for a jam on a Sunday? That would be epic.
That would be epic.
I mean, we would all
I
just
wouldn't want to fucking play.
We'd all just hang up our guitars and go, okay.
Right? I'm like, well, if we're doing that, I'm coming too. That's for sure.
Outside on smoking cigarettes. It's like, oh my goodness.
Yep. That's a good question.
We should do like a Sunday marathon. Start off on my show and then just everybody move over to yours and just keep on going, man.
Migration situation. I take that. Yeah.
Well, we see you've got to go Charles, and then the other Charles, and then the Pete, and then the us, and then the Ben. That's
and the panel would just be the host throughout the day, right?
The
whole panel,
whatever it is.
Literally, no guests, no room for guests.
Yeah.
Get Pete on our show and make sure he streams it to his channel.
There we go.
Right.
There we go.
Right. Well, yeah. Hey, Pete, see where that says a fella can also stream? Yeah.
Blue.
I click on that, do a fella a favor.
Right. Yeah, right.
Which Van Halen song would you like to jam to, Pete?
was good to see him back home today. You know, in his comfortable surroundings, trying to scarf down a yogurt as he
enjoying it. That's for sure. Well, back to roll call. Hey, we got 69 people in here. That's a funny number.
Right on.
Eric Warrington from upstate New York.
Chef Eric.
Here. Who else did I see? Dave Chase, Big Wave Dave. There's a new name in here. I was Bad Hole Maestro.
Bad
right
Joe.
On.
Bad,
Good to see you
just
again.
call him Joe. I mean, we can just call him Joe.
Joe.
Bad Joe. Good
Migrated
to see you, bro.
over from our channel.
Thumbs
right
up,
on.
brother.
Awesome. Great to see. Blue Mox. Every time I see him, I'm like, he left blue Mox everywhere. Just fuck. It's like doing a burnout with blue tires everywhere, all over the Canadian Tire parking lot or something. I don't know.
I think he got that name. He's maybe from Boston or something, and he ate some Cap'n Crunch, and then in the morning he looked at, I got blue Mox again.
Oh yeah, he ate Taco Bell and it was a very cold morning.
Oh man,
Steve Rezer. There's John Shane. There he is.
There he is. What's up, John?
No worries, bro.
Now, unlike Charles this morning, I'm going to actually shut him up correctly. Charles is like, oh, there's Rob Blackmore official. No. Devil's Horns, Alien Head, Rob Blackmore official. Just saying. Hardest guy to tag in a chat.
Right?
Yep.
We call him Music here. He's easy to tag because he's
Matt.
at MC.
Brother Matt.
There's our good friend Bo. He's on a mission from God.
What a bow.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know. Bo clearly didn't see the soda pop tasting I released yesterday because he was referenced in it.
I still have to go back and watch that too.
BC Rich 581 is here. Who else we got? Who keeps texting? Oh, it's Doug. Keeps texting me. Yeah, Doug, I'm doing a show. Come on, turn up, bud. He knows. There's some guy named Randy Price. Oh, cool. I love it.
I think I know that guy.
Frank.
Yeah, the Metsy Nightcat's here. Frank's here, all the way from Mississippi.
A chili?
I've been there
Dave's
before.
here. Josh, see, the whole time, Josh, while we're doing roll call, you actually managed to put the kid to bed.
Right on.
He's here.
Ordered candy before
Wild
bed?
man. This guy, I tell you. Oh,
Hey, Keith.
ever tell you about the time just sit back.
What's up, Keith?
He's got stories that,
Yeah.
not suitable for television, that's for sure.
True. That's got to be a Buffalo meeting.
Did you see the wild Aussie in the chat? Simon Hosford is here, man.
Legend.
see
I see that. There he is.
Legend.
Right on.
Boss. As well as searching for Tone, who briefly joined us at the Water Buffalo meeting this past week. Bandwidth. You weren't the only one. I was getting low bandwidth, low network stability. I think it was Charles, myself, messing with us. I don't know what he was doing.
Could have been Quentin trying to change the lights on his keyboard. You never know.
Well, there's that, and it messes us all up. Oh, all right. 407. Oh, so he's in the northeast end of Toronto. All right. That's fine. Keith Campbell's here. What's up, Keith?
Hey,
Good
Keith.
morning. Eric Combs. Not Coombs. Combs. Close, but not the same. Whoops. Double tap.
Mr. Vowel.
Yep. I'd like to buy an O. Sure. What? Snag it. 67 Gretsch Rally for $2,000. I'm not going to talk to you about your Gretsch story, Randy. Yard. It's okay, though. I get it. Doesn't have a telly. Killed me. I just remember the Gretsch. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, that's something we're not talking about.
It's kind of like we don't talk to Ryan about my EVH music band either.
No.
Idiot.
There's Absolute Mayhem. He's in here.
Right on.
Yeah, Pete who? Exactly. I don't know. He might do okay. Maybe. Joe McGraw is here. Matt Stewart. Awesome. Well, we're only 4 minutes behind now. Jeff K. Cheech. Frank's there, right? Hit Metal Works, of course.
You got 71,000 watching, so I mean, the long roll call, man.
Yeah, right.
Where's Quentin James? I was probably asleep. Eston Ray.
He may be going live in the next 15 minutes. Keep
Jimmy
your
Ray
eyes on
Hawkins
notifications.
Jimmy.
Yeah, holy crap on a cracker. I am, in fact, caught up. Oh, well,
Jimmy Ray Hawkins.
Right on.
Good to see you, bro.
Well, thanks for having us, Ben. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Later.
We're here for the shout outs. That's it, folks. Which, by the way, if you haven't already, check out OU 812, the channel.
Right on.
Live at least 3 times a week.
At least.
At least. Yeah, I eyed up that Tuesday PM or time slot briefly. Snag. I'm like, ooh. On one hand, I like being live 2 back-to-back nights, but on another time, kind of like to break it up if I could.
Yeah.
But open invitation, Ben. You want to come by on a Tuesday and show us a guitar, a piece of gear, whatever. You can vote. You can vote in the chat, people. You go back to the previous video and you say, you know what? I want to see Ben Coombs Explorer, and we'll put the invite out and get him on the show, and we can bring up the stats for that.
One thing to say, by popular demand, like it was 3 people. By popular demand.
That's fine. That's all it takes.
No, Ben knows what guitar I want to see. It's got a white guard.
That's right. There we go. What says he ever drink? And blue. Yes.
I think we all know he did.
Ow. I did I was gonna say I did a demo video on it.
That was the one that went over the shoulder.
I kind of did. I demonstrated me trying to swallow that stuff.
Oh, is that the one that you threw way back into
No,
the
that was not the one. That was, but
it should
family. Oh yeah, yeah. That one had a peat moss taste to it. I remember, I'm like, very sure this carbonated pond.
Seaside.
Yeah. That reminds me of a time that here in the Atlanta area we have World of Coca-Cola because this is home base, and you can go there and they have different drinks that they sell from around the world. Mm-hmm. And there was this one from, I think it was South Africa or something like that. And I swear to God, it tasted like tree bark. I'm like, how? Why? Why do people drink this?
That was, was it Dandelion and Burlock? It's called DB. And it's I'm like, Dandelion, I'm like, isn't that, like, that's 2 kinds of weeds. Or burdock. That's the one.
Right.
It's going to be better.
And I was just like, I crack it open. Yeah, it tastes like fucking carbonated weeds. Like, how is this enjoyable?
Right.
Like how shitty is British food where you're using this to wash it down? That's what I'm saying,
I don't know. Different taste buds from around the world, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, Joe McGraw's here. Coots is here. Wow, a bunch of people. All right, there we go. Back up to live. All right, apparently with the gear gods. I like that, Silva.
We can make it happen.
Steve Resser says Atlanta smells like dog food. You know what? There's worse. Cornwall smells like sulfur. I got some refineries going on there. I don't know, but all I know is I always had to stop for gas there. You get out of the vehicle to go pump the gas, and you're like, who farted? Like the whole town smells like ass.
That's how Savannah is. When you first roll into Savannah, you smell Union Bag, the paper mill.
Yeah, I was going to say if there's a paper mill or a pulp mill nearby.
Oh, pulp mill. Yeah, we used to have one across from my sister's old place. I'm like, why does it smell like Miracle Grow around here all the time? Because that's all it smelled like, was Miracle Grow. And I'm like, oh, never have clogged signs.
Out in the Fraser Valley here where they do some fertilizing a couple times a year. It's basically a tanker full of wet crap that they just spray out into the fields. And when they do that, it's ripe out there for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and funny, that was the other one I was going to mention, Arf, was, parts of Windsor because of Hiram Walker Brewery. I don't know how they distill their rye whiskey and other spirits there, but it's not a good smell. And usually the wind blows it over to Detroit, so we don't care, and they don't notice because that's how well Detroit smells.
They might notice.
Bo just unsubbed. Bo's like, fuck this shit. Yeah. All right, see, I forgot. What's it, Doug? Oh, yeah, a whole mass. All right, easy. I was talking northbound. Oh, yeah. I could have told you, Doug, there's sirens on the highway. Yeah, it's a bit of a shit show.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes. There we go. Thanks, folks. No. Now, go ahead, put up, because a fellow can. The virtual tip jar is always open, folks. helps keep the lights on, and I don't know, root beer inside the koozie, which is TRD tonight. You know, why not, right? It was free.
Turd racing.
Yep. Speaking of running on gas. So Randy wanted to see a guitar he asked for. A fella could. Just saying.
Within arm's reach there, hey?
It's going to be fun until I go and try to show it closer to the camera, and that's when the
yeah.
Now, my old man would say, I don't know why you like this. It's beat the fuck, Randy. It's worn out. That's what I'm saying. You know? So there we go. You ever wondered, she'd have an arm cut in a Tele? Yes, it wears down over time to the bare wood.
Right. If you're worthy.
It's missing a
enough
fret.
Hours in the saddle.
It's missing a fret, yeah. And you're like, oh, there's no wear on the fret. Well, the old man never made it past the 7th fret, because if you notice, all of a sudden you go,
oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when we get to the cowboy chord.
And that is all true relic there, hey?
Yeah, and the back of the neck, you know, like just up and down that lower part of the neck. And
There's definitely
he was the thumb wrapper, because up around the top is all the thumb wrapping. And yeah, and there's like no finish along. It's like, yeah, just from setting it down, and it's just, you're just. And unfortunately, it won't come up on camera. There's so much checking, Ryan. It's ridiculous. Well, you can kind of see it in here.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Like, it's just ridiculous, the amount of checking.
Very cool. Oh, yeah. Couple of ashes in the ashtray there.
Oh,
Does that pickup say EMG?
Oh, yeah, EMG pickups.
SAs or S's?
I don't know, whatever was available in 1985. These are OG pickups. The old man played this through a Fender Vibrolux Silverface. Stage volume, no gain, clean. But, you know, you get that 60 cycle hum. Because, you know, the bars haven't been rewired since they were wired the first time in 1902 or something like that. And
right.
so he had heard about these quiet pickups these guys were using. So he hopped over the border to Syracuse, New York. Because at that time, it took a year or two for anything to come to Canada. They always sold everything domestically for a year or two. And so he went over, snagged those, brought them back, threw them in. And I debated when I started using the guitar, you know, should I take them out? People were like, ooh, EMG's poo-poo first. Well, in a Tele, sacrilegious. Then a couple of years ago, a fellow was watching a documentary on Waylon's guitar. And Waylon's guitar ended up with EMGs in it by the end of his career. So, you know, good enough for Waylon and my old man, you know, considering because the other reason I was going to take him out, Ryan, John's not here to defend himself.
That is one of my favorite, too. I'm just saying.
The only person I could find that was famous at the time of using EMG pickups in a Tele was the second guitar player from Nickelback. And yeah, the
Ryan Peake.
And I went, that is not an advertising quality for me. I you too can sound like Nickelback. I don't want to sound like Nickelback.
Wait a minute.
So, but I will say I brought this out to my Nuddle band one night. We played in Drop C, and I think I had 11s on at that time. Put in Drop C, and we're through a high gain system, and the guys are all like, "That guitar sounds amazing. You have to use it in the band." I'm like, other than the fact it looks absolutely ridiculous on stage. Because we're all wearing black and distressed looking, you know, and you can't have a white guard blonde Tele, unfortunately.
Jim Root would argue that.
Right? He's the one who's fighting the cause, for sure.
Exactly.
And John Five has put his Teles to the pace.
So what year model is that, Tele? You said the EMGs went in 85.
71?
Yeah, this is a 67.
Nice. Very nice.
Which is quite rare because that was one of the lowest production years of Teles ever, including right in the early days, because apparently they made a whole hell of a lot of them in 66 because they sold a bunch of 65. So like, oh, let's ramp up production. And then nobody bought them in 66. So then they made next to none of them in 67. And also at that time, they were getting into the heavier woods where they do what they call the smuggler body, where you take off the guard and it's just all routed out under the guard to try to save weight. Some of them had chambered bodies. This one's not bad, and it's It's pretty light, and there's nothing routed out underneath it. I did a video where I took the pick guard off, and talk about tan lines, because the underneath is almost the same color as the pick guard. I'm like, I don't know if this was even blonde. This might be white originally, so it's definitely dark now.
Love some good tan lines, that's for sure.
Right?
What guy doesn't, right?
Yeah, because I was curious if it was a smuggler telly, because I'd never had the pick guard off. And hell, the neck hasn't even been off it since 85. When last time I had a truss rod adjustment was 85.
Wow.
So sometimes the action's a little high, sometimes a little low, and I'm not taking the neck off to adjust it. So
very cool.
Thanks. Yep. Yeah.
So it still has no frets left, right?
Oh no, it never had any frets to begin with.
Right.
This is the second set of frets. If we, there we go. There's no fret height. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
No, there's not.
Which is why, if you ever watch my demos and I play a D chord, you're like, "Why don't you tune the guitar?" I'm like, "Well, you do, but I learned how to do like grip." My dad's like, "If you can't hold a guitar in the air without holding a chord, like that's what you do, like." Or it's like you should be able to do a bar chord and hold a guitar by a bar chord. That's how I learned how to play. You can't have jumbo frets if you do that, though.
Yeah,
it doesn't work. But
you just have to do an open tuning and just play slide on it.
Well, there's that. Yeah. Tailgates and tan lines. Oh, I like that. That sounds like a country record. Unfortunately, that sounds like a country record that's so produced that you're not sure it's country until the guy starts singing. You're like, oh, he's got a deviated septum.
Kind of neck profile that thing got. Big neck?
Bigger, slightly bigger than a modern Fender. Like, like that generic Fender neck on most, we'll say, American Fenders these days, that not too big, not too small. It was actually designed by John Suhr for the relaunch in the late 80s. It's a little thicker than that. But not bad on shoulders. Like, it isn't like it goes straight back like a U shape and then comes back like a lot of the modern thicker necks. It's just a little deeper. And you don't really notice the 7 1/4 radius until you go to bend a note, and it's more the lack of fret height too. That's when you notice it. But when you're playing chords and the Cowboys, you're like, wow, this is so comfortable, right? Because it's a 7 1/4 radius. It's like playing a fiddle.
Yeah.
Great for that. That's
cool.
The notes.
What kind of telly-shaped objects do you have, Randy?
I don't. I used to have a Jim Root telly years ago.
Mine has one that's not too shabby.
Oh.
Friedman?
Max asked, did you get the ashtray for the cover for the bridge? No, my dad lost that in the early 70s while using it as an ashtray at a house party. Because he actually would pull it off and actually use the ashtray as an ashtray. But I do have the one for my 71 telly, so I do have an ashtray. But you pull those off because you can't palm mute.
Right.
The wood type, I think it's an ash body, but I don't know for sure. Because they were using both alder and ash at that time.
At that time, Trev, if they used ash, they would just have designated it ash, but it was more than likely northern ash, because their swamp ash isn't that heavy. I mean, it's pretty much like alder. Northern ash has got some weight to it.
And swamp ash, you got to put extra sealer and coat paint on, otherwise it will come through, which a lot of us like.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're trying to do a solid color, it's a hassle. But let's not get into guitar manufacturers and paints. I'm looking at you, Gibson. How would you like this beautiful burst? But if you play an outdoor festival at 2 p.m. on a sunny day, you won't have a burst by the end of your set. Oh. And people are like, I want bursts like back in the day. Do you? Do you really? No, you don't.
Well, it's like the Music Man's, the AVH Music Man's faded.
Right?
Your black one ended up green. Your purple one ended up natural.
Right.
I mean, your red one ended up pink.
So, would you consider it to be blasphemous or sacrilege to refinish one of those guitars?
No.
Restore it to its purple? an EVH guitar?
No, not for me, anyways, because they're tools. They're not works of art. They're not
Function over fashion.
cool. And if you want to look good, look good. Although, I don't know what's worth more. You say, hey, Ryan, it's a purple one. You're like, it's clear, and I'm like, no, but it used to be purple, as opposed to, hey, I reshot it. It is purple and it looks purple. The one that looks purple is going to be worth less, but how much less? Especially if you have it done professionally, right?
Yeah.
I know with PRSs, this is half the time if you send a PRS back to the factory for work, they're like, hey, we know some chips and you want us to reshoot it, and they'll refin it for you.
Yeah.
Does that affect the value? No, because PRS owners, they're like fucking boat owners. Oh, look at my PRS. Oh, blah, blah. Yeah, you hang it up on a wall. You don't play it. Come on.
Yeah.
I played mine when I had one.
They're the same ones too, Randy. It's an SE. Oh, they're basically the same thing, Randy. They're basically it's like they're doing the number one. They're basically the same thing. I'm like, no, they're not.
No,
that's why they're not the same price.
No, I've played some of the older SE Custom 24s, and they play terribly. They're horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I hear I haven't touched one, but
those weird locking tuners back in the day that you had to line up the points with the sun or something. I don't fucking.
But I bought a, I think they call it Fire Red Burst, that dark red.
Oh, yeah.
Custom 24 back in 2006. I kept it about a year and sold it. Just meh. I don't know, man. Their neck profiles are weird.
Tony, John, I should have that on the ticker. John's internet went down, so guys came in and saved the day.
Sorry to disappoint, Tony.
Yeah.
With the wrecking
so Ryan, you say you got a Telecaster shaped object.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind checking that out.
Yeah, let me grab it.
I like them all.
Be right back.
I will not complain about that.
I
know, Randy, you like a slightly larger neck, so you're into the Charvels.
Yep. I've been eyeballing the Kotzen Telly for years.
That does have a thick neck, and I will say the Charvels are nice. They have a slightly bigger neck, but they're not the same as the 80 Charvel stuff. 80 Charvels are big necks again.
I swear you need one like this. This is a 2010 USA Wildcard 3. These necks, and then the ones that are on the Japanese SoCals and San Dimas they did in 2010 and 2011, are not the same profile as the modern Mexican ones. Right. These are not the same speed. See, they're not. There's a smidge narrower, and they're a little chunkier than the newer stuff, which is why I prefer them.
Ooh.
So there's my Telly-shaped object.
All right.
Got a humbucker and a P90.
I see that.
With the distressed purple finish. So Les Paul style controls.
Right.
And it is a stop tail.
And it's not
a
hollow body like the one most of them were with that control layout.
It is through the body.
Nothing got cut, which is nice. Just a slight bit of relicking on the back. I don't know if folks can see that on camera if it comes up or not, but there's a little bit of buckle.
Just a touch there. Yeah. And then the neck has a little relicking on it as well. And then as you saw by the back plate, it is a Friedman with the old vintage style.
Randy would love Friedmans. They have big necks most of the time.
I've played that guitar.
Yeah,
that guitar plays really well. It sounds really good too.
Yeah, they do. Actually, I'm going to say that's actually a little bit of a smaller neck compared to what I've played and seen for Friedman's. Every time I picked one up, I'm like, "This looks amazing!" Dang it! And as soon as I grab it, I'm like, "Neck's too big."
Now this is more of a. What would you say, Randy? You played it more of a Charvel, or
it's very much in the Charvel realm.
Yeah.
Right. Well, imagine that with Grover Jackson.
Right.
Right.
And Bent Tom, it's flat black. It's not gray. It's flat black.
But typical kind of, Les Paul switches and kind of a Les Paul layout. Only thing that kind of bugs me a little bit is a little bit of noise from the P90. But once once you're playing, it's not a big deal.
Right.
But
Keep moving.
as everybody knows, Dave Friedman really likes his beat up looking guitars.
He does.
So,
He does like to have, yeah, he insists on beating the crap out of them.
yep. So this is how it
But
came
he
from.
really doesn't like selling one. Like you can order them non-relict, but he doesn't like doing it.
Mm-hmm. I think some of the like the upper bout here, you see this spot right here.
Right.
Some of this continued to chip off. So I just took and I rubbed my finger on it a while for the wood to match. But I don't mind it. I like a guitar that looks like it's beat up a little bit.
Well, see, that's the nice thing too. Like you get them that way. It's like it doesn't matter if you scratch it or anything. No one's going to notice.
Right.
It doesn't affect the value.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
Now, that one used to have a special tuning, but I believe it's changed.
Yeah, it's just back in standard tuning now.
What's up,
Was it
your
Top Jimmy? Was that it?
It was in a tuning to play Top Jimmy, yeah, but it's just
I just wanted to test my memory there for a second.
standard tuning now.
Nice.
What's up, brother Tom? Been reading his comments, but I forgot to say actual hello to Tommy Boy there.
Yeah, Tom was over there
Why
earlier.
would be relic on the horn? Because anybody that ends up getting, you always knock the, you get weird marks gigging. But yeah, the inside of the horn is a little odd. I've seen it.
Also- A lot of players wear rings.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you
So
see,
you got that vibrato, you're tink, tink, tink.
like right here, my ring, when I come up, that's exactly where that hits. Would
There
be
you go.
right there on that spot.
There you go.
That's wore out. So he's thought of everything, right?
Yeah. It was funny. I remember I met Grover Jackson at an AM show, and I wanted to get a photo with him. And I was about to get this doing a selfie, and he's like, "Can we turn so we can get my guitarist in the photo too?" Yes, we can.
Of course.
And then Floyd Rose came over and was talking to him, and I'm like, "That's the '80s right there. That's Grover Jackson and Floyd Rose. That's it. You know, if Larry DiMarzio walks up, I'm leaving. That's it. You know." Charles says, easy to wear on the horns, thinnest part of the finish. And I believe for the amount of finishes he's taken off guitars.
Bo says all his guitars are all beat up.
Or none of his guitars.
It's not necessarily true. From what I've seen.
And some you've had for years. You've had some for years, then you've never seen them in years, Bo. Like I know that for a fact.
I bet you he's
Well, that
got a
was like when
guitar.
we got out his Explorer. We can blame Trev for the rekindled love of Bo and his Explorer because we were talking about Explorers on a Buffalo meeting, and Bo was like, "Oh yeah, I got one of those." And we're like, "When's the last time you played it?" He's like, "When I bought it." Because he got it, played it for a few minutes, went back in the case. He hadn't seen it since. Now it's part of the regular rotation up on his rack.
I was going to say, I bet he has at least a couple of guitars that he got, played, put in the case, and they're still right where he left.
The carvings. He's got like carvings coming out of his ass.
All the
Right.
time. Or when we were talking about PRSs, and he was like, "Do you want me to get the 90s 10 tops?" And he said it in plural. I'm like, "Oh." And I'm not a PRS guy at all, but for that, I was like, "Oh."
Yeah.
Because those are probably built by Paul himself. So, what kind of pickups were in that Charvel, Randy?
It's a DiMarzio Super 3.
And what's special about the DiMarzio Super 3? I am not familiar.
The Super 3 is
It's one more than the Super 2.
so
Where the
the so you had the Super Distortion, which was like the OG hot rod pickup,
Right.
and then they made the Super 2, which is a weaker version with an EQ change for the neck. It was made for the neck position.
Okay. Right.
And then you get into the point where there's a lot of guys that thought that the Super Distortion was too bright, which is how I feel about the Super Distortion.
Okay.
So basically, they wound a Super Distortion with a reverse EQ. It's got a lot of low end, a lot of low mid, and they chopped the treble out of it. but it's super hot.
Well,
DiMarzio, they don't rate their output with DCR.
right.
They use output voltage, which is what you're supposed to do. But the DCR on a Super 3 is like 22K. That's like a triple thick ceramic magnet. I mean,
Triple what?
triple thick.
It's too
You can see how high that. I mean, dude, that pickup is right under the strings,
Right.
and it's direct mounted. There's no foam under that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's girthy.
So what are the whys?
Hey, Trev, would you be able to put a link to Ryan's channel again in the chat? Or Terry can periodically throughout the evening, so
I mean,
in case you aren't subscribed to Ryan's channel, folks. Just saying.
Thank you,
There's a
man.
lot of familiar faces.
Help a fella out.
Yeah, word of the wise, if you want to put a Super 3 in your guitar, make sure it's routed deep enough for it to fit.
Indeed.
Right. It would look so pregnant in an SG because they're so thin.
Mm-hmm.
It would look so weird.
I guess probably the biggest user of the Super 3 that I know of is probably Phil Collin from Def Leppard.
Okay.
He's been using those things forever. But
Yeah,
hell,
He's a real man because he plays like 13s. He plays
there's
guitar
a-
solos with 13s.
Thing floating around the YouTubes, and I've been exposed to it on more than one occasion now because of my algorithms. Where Def Leppard's in the Direct TV or the Sirius XM garage or whatever, and they play for like an hour of all like a lot of it was the Pyromania for the 40th anniversary.
Right.
Holy shit! Good.
Martin,
If you see
Martin
that
Murray,
pop
you
up
have to
in
put a
your
hole
feed.
in an SG for it to fit. Well, no, actually, you reverse mount the pickup. What you do is
you mount it from the back.
extensions on the wings, and you actually just drill it right out, mount the pickup from behind, and just screw it into the back of the guitar. So it's a direct mount, but the other way.
Yeah, Trev, I saw the Def Leppard Sirius XM thing, and they actually played my favorite tune off Pyromania, Coming Under Fire. And I don't think they've played that tune since the Pyromania tour.
I've been trying to learn that one, Randy.
Oh,
I'm working on it. But I always get halfway through that one, and then my head goes to Die Hard the Hunter.
That whole album's great.
Trev, didn't you rent a teleshaped object for a bit to see how you got along with it?
I did rent a teleshaped object, and it didn't
that's
get
what
along
easy there,
very
Trev.
well.
Some of us are trying to keep their monetization. Not
Kept it
Monday.
for like 3 seconds. Man.
Right? Yeah.
John says we're doing a great job for him. Right on,
There
man.
you go.
Hey, I saw this name over in your chat earlier. 720 oil upside down.
What's that?
Oily.
710.
It is. It's oil. Either way, it doesn't matter how you spin your head.
Yeah. Good to see ya. See, apparently, John, it takes 3 people to replace you, John. I'm just saying.
Yeah, at the very least. At the very least.
We will reschedule John in for the not too distant future. That's for sure.
What did John have that was so interesting to start with, though? I mean, come on.
He's got. He has.
Love you, John. I'm just
got
kidding.
A couple
Just
of
kidding.
things.
Well, I was going to
in
congratulate
history.
him for getting a real amp again and getting away from that digital.
Right.
Die Hard the Fractal. Die Hard the Fractal.
Yeah, John was big, and he sold me on getting one of those fractals, and I got it, and I really tried. It's sitting in the box. I used it for a couple hours. I'm
Is
like,
that on Marketplace?
no.
I do know that answer, Cheech, but I will let the other guys. You guys all know that one? Who did that? Who does that intro to Rock of Ages?
Wasn't that the producer guy? What's his nuts?
That's
Shania
correct.
Twain.
Mutt Lange.
Mutt Lange, dude.
Yeah, because he would always do the live count in, and then it just got to the point they got sick of him saying 1, 2, 3, 4, and he did that, and then they just kept it on the front, unbeknownst to him.
It's the whole song is on the pad. That's why I gotta be right there. Where's my thumb? Just to kind of play a couple seconds of it, turn it off.
How many producers have made their way into a song like that? I mean, you've got.
Didn't Bob Rock play bass
Bob
for
Rock.
Metallica for like 3
Yeah,
years?
I was like Bob Rock played bass for a decade, I think.
And you got that spot in Unchained. Come on, Dave, give me a break.
right.
Yeah. One break
Yeah.
coming up.
I don't know. Does Alan Parsons count when he's on his own material on the Alan Parsons project? You know,
True.
I bet it's more than you realize. Way more.
well, yeah. And by the way, congrats, Bo. Bo's got. He says to me in the chat today, Trav. He was like, finally got my tone running stereo. 2 Marshalls on the left, 2 Marshalls on the right.
Isn't that Quadrio?
That's quite
Yeah, I'm
lovely.
like, I have no problem.
That's where you quote Quentin James, settle down, Ingve.
Easy, Angus.
Just always got to outdo a fella, doesn't he? I mean, come
I
on.
guarantee you, though, Bo has roadies. If he's going to show up with 4 half stacks, like, who? Yeah,
But they don't,
My
they don't
back
go
is-
anywhere. You got to only move them once. Get them into position. And then,
He's going to move them to the venue once. Now they're backline provided.
Yep. Yep.
We got a member milestone message from Ben Tom. Member for 48 months. Wow.
That's awesome.
Just got back last night from Miami, but I didn't see Ingwe. Oh. Thank you, Terry. There's a link to Ryan's channel. Check it out, folks.
Right on. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ben, what's your newest guitar that you've got?
The newest, which recently paid off, even. Cool, you know. Because, you know, as a true guitar player, that is, Randy, I was making payments on a $500 guitar. Easy. It's like 3 more payments and it's mine. No. Because the fellow can never have enough Candy Apple Red guitars. I was demoing the Gretsch Jr. this spring, Ryan. And it was one of those, as I'm playing it, I was really bonding with it. And then I turned off the camera and I walked out. And instead of putting it back on the rack, I said, how much? What are we doing? I'm like, what's the deal? What are we doing here? And fortunately, at that time at the local music store, it was Fender month, which meant, hey, 0% financing. And I'm like, I can do that.
Right on.
All right. They're like, what do you want to put down on it? I went, this Boss chorus pedal, because I'm not giving you any cash. Like, all right, we can do that. And then, yeah. So, Gretsch Junior Jet in a limited edition Candy Apple Red.
Cool.
Which I believe, for our American friends, Guitar Center exclusive for this year. Because whatever the Long McQuaid exclusive is, it's also the Guitar Center exclusive, which makes sense because they're the 2 largest chains globally. So as a manufacturer, if you're going to do a limited run,
Yeah.
but in quantity, yeah, Cheech, Long McQuaid. They always hook me up there. Not that relic Candy Apple Red Theodore. No, Michael Krause, because even Candy Apple Red can't make a Theodore look nice. So we had that topic like the other night on the show, right? That Candy Apple Red looks good on any guitar, regardless of manufacturer. So Michael Krause had to be a smartass. He posted in the Facebook group. Here's a Epo Theodore in Candy Apple Red, which was relic too. I'm like, who relics a Theodore? And I was like, yeah, but that would look hideous in any color. Like there's no saving that thing.
Yeah, there's always an exception to the rule, for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. So
Yeah,
it's
the box
interesting.
course, like the whatever the current one is, Scott Brockway, which was awesome because I picked it up used a couple years ago for $60, and they gave me over 100 for it.
There you go.
I was like, "What do you sell new?" And they're like, "Oh, $160 these days." I'm like, "Holy crap! All right, no wonder you give me a bunch of money."
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that you picked it up and you played it and you were just like immediately bonding with it. Isn't that funny how, you know, even though it may not be a guitar that you were looking for, this has happened to me before.
Yeah,
You go in
like,
and you're like, that one's interesting.
I'm not
And
a fan of wraparound bridges. Like,
Mhm.
it's okay, but it's
Yeah.
not my thing. Although comfort-wise, I kind of like resting my hand on the guitar behind
yeah.
playing. I've kind of got used to that, but Yeah, it's like, well, pickups sound good. Tuners are okay. I don't expect good tuners on a cheap import, but
sometimes you just pick one up and it just
one of
feels
those,
right.
oh, it's great for the price situation. No, it's like I've got a bunch of great for the price guitar. I don't need another great for the price guitar in my life.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good playing guitar. So, like you say, you bond with it, and regardless of price, I was like, thank God it's not $5,000. It was $500.
Right? Yeah. The last guitar that happened to, I didn't buy it, but I was just walking through one of the music stores, and I had heard a couple things about this guitar. It was the Reverend brand, I guess. It was a new Billy Corgan signature that had come out.
Yeah.
So I picked it up and I'm playing. I'm like, oh man, this thing feels fantastic. It reminded me of the feel of an Ernie Ball Music Man. It was that good.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at this thing and I'm like, yeah, no, I can't bond with the shape, the shape of it. But it was a great playing guitar, and it wasn't really that expensive. I think it was $800 or
they're
something.
kind of the best of both worlds, quote, because made in Korea, but before they ever see a store, they're all shipped to Toledo, where they get the final QA and once over, which is perfect, because then you're saving that 15% of the guitars that are going to have fret sprout or something weird happens during shipping, and so the QA's there, and and it is it's that final touch that puts it over the edge. So and it might as well be, and for all intents and purposes, for QA reasons, an American guitar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was surprised by it.
Josh asks, "Is that Gretsch a 5210?" I think that limited run Gretsch, that I almost bought last week sounds about right. Which was limited edition in black pearl sparkle.
Yeah, see, when it comes to Gretsch, I only know about Cadillac Green and Country Clubs.
Best pole in middle position, correct? No. How about all the Jimmy Page's Zeppelin stuff on Les Paul? He played in middle position all the time. So there you go, Chris. Swing and a miss on the troll. Tried. I love the guy. He just can't play more than one pickup at once. It's beyond his abilities, I guess. I don't know.
I was like that for a long time. It's like bridge pickup. That's it.
Right.
And doing the different kind of slower stuff that we do now, and the different style of stuff, I'm finding that you can get some pretty interesting tones out of mixing your pickups and turning the dials and actually doing what you're supposed to.
Right?
Who would have thought, right?
Yeah. Oh, Josh is sending more P90s in a Gretsch. All right. Oh, I know that guitar. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of their P90 guitars. Josh is talking about this one.
Mm-hmm. I saw one of those at Guitar Center recently, but it was purple. Actually, a very, very close purple to this guitar. And I played it.
Yeah.
And it was pretty nice. I just Bigsby and me, no.
See, that's a look, don't touch situation, right? It's purely there for looks.
Yeah.
I do need to have at least one guitar. Like, hell, I got a guitar with a Floyd Rose, and I don't know how to use it, so I might as well have one with a Bigsby, too. That's the way I see it. Cover all the bases.
Like everything I've got's got a Floyd on it.
Yeah, I can play with it, but I need a tech. Like, hand it to me, tuned up, ready to go. Great. Me fighting with it to get a damn Floyd Rose in tune. I don't have the patience.
Well, there's a simple trick to it, though.
You block it.
You get you something to block it so that it doesn't move when you change the strings. And then tighten up the springs, the claw springs, tighter than what you think that you would need. Tune it, and then take your block out, and then loosen the springs until it comes right back up into perfect tune, and you're done.
Yep. You essentially, once you get the strings at tension, you just, like you said, pull the block out, and then you tune the guitar via the spring claw.
Mm-hmm. And then it's perfect. The string tension is where it needs to be. The spring tension, everything's where it should be.
That's for floating Floyds, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I made this one flat, and it's about 0.5 millimeter, the top of the plate versus
As
the
it
top
should
of
be.
the body.
Yeah. You want as close to that body as possible.
I don't want it pitched up. I don't want it pitched down. I want it parallel with
It
the...
needs to be parallel. To be perfect, it needs to be parallel. That's the way it's designed. Yep. Which
Unless
is
it's an
shocking how
edge.
I managed. I don't know how I did that. When I did all the upgrades to my Kramer, like I completely disassembled a Floyd Rose, put in all the FU tone parts, put it all back together, and the fucking thing worked. And was set up well. Like I was like, huh, like I've done it before. I've set up Floyd Rose guitars for 30 plus years, but it had been a minute, Randy. You know, I'm kind of into Les Pauls and Tellys, you know, and then Tune-O-Matics, piece of cake, right? You know, did the rebuild, and I'm like, all right, and then let's just do this. I didn't even own an intonation tool. Oof, me. Guesstimated at the intonation, wasn't that far off. Hey, it's my lovely sister Amanda. Hey, sis.
Right on.
Howdy, Amanda.
And the Hober Roadie as well.
Right on.
Yeah. And somebody in Pete's chat today said, hey, that FU tone stuff, is that worth the money? Yes. The stuff works.
Have you seen Randy's new Epiphone that he got?
What? No.
It ain't no Epiphone.
I was thinking he was going to go into a thing about his... it's not the D-tuna, it's the what? Twist lock tuna?
It's just a touch flamey.
It's a Gibson.
Oh, it's a Gibby.
Yeah, it's got a.
Just in the quick guard, though. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you don't put pick guards on Les Pauls. You take those off.
You take them off.
This guitar doesn't even have one. It didn't come with one. It's not drilled for one.
See,
So-
that annoyed me because they'll do that, right? And it'll be like that finish, and they'll put the pick guard in the case with the screws. And they did that for about 2 or 3 years. And I was like, how about, fuck you, drill the holes at the factory so I don't have to. Like, you know, especially when you're at the music. Oh, yeah, I'll drill it for you. We got Buddy in the back there. He's got the DeWalt drill charged up. No!
No, yeah.
No!
Well, see, I'm just
I
going
don't
to,
know
if they've got
whether
one, I'm
or
just going
not.
to take them off.
Yeah. Well, see, there's a lot of people that are like, I don't want it on there, and I don't want the little holes in it. So
Right.
don't drill the
I
Oh,
think
holes.
that-
Claudia, we did a poll.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Claudia? You mean Claudia?
That's the one. And it was like, okay, here it is with the pick guard on, here it is with the pick guard off. And when you look at that piece of wood that was buried underneath
it
that
looked
thing, it's
weird
like,
without
come
it
on,
being
you gotta not put the pick guard back on.
Right.
That is beautiful.
I still need a pick guard. It just looks weird without it to me. But that's okay. Yeah, like Richie, who I was in several bands with, he hates pick guards on Les Pauls. Well, I have a collection of pick guards because that was the first thing you do. You get home, pull up pick guard, hand it to me. He was like, "Here you go for the collection." And he thought it was funny because I have a pile of them, which is great because I got black, white, cream. Like I got all the variants and stuff. So
Right.
see, Billy's like me, needs a pick guard, but and then the prettier the top, I'm more likely to put a pick guard on out of spite for the guys that hate pick guards on Les Paul. So
Well, what's the pick guard on there for?
I don't hate it.
To
It just
protect-
depends. If like their Vader guitar would
Is
be okay with a
Is
pick
it there to
guard.
protect the top though? But if you never take the pick guard off, you never see the top. So what do you care? So you might as well leave the pick guard off and
And then when it starts to look like crap, you put the pick guard back on.
put the
It
pick
doesn't
guard
matter.
back on, right?
what they should do, install those little mini rare earth magnets so you just magnetize.
Right, just
Pop it
pop it
on
in
and off.
place.
You know, because they do that for like some of the companies do that for their control cavity covers. They use
Mm-hmm.
little magnets, which I think is badass until you go to service one first time. You're like, how's the
Suction
fella
pig.
get inside?
You need
You're
a
like,
suction pig.
"Screw off." Like, threw me for the loop first time I saw one of those. I don't understand.
But yeah, Ryan's guitar that he is holding is what inspired the purchase of this. This is the first and only Les Paul I've ever bought.
I'm not a Les Paul guy.
Mm-hmm.
Plays Claudia for like half an hour, and it's like, you're gonna have to pry this guitar
Everybody
with my cold
needs
dead
a
hands.
Les Paul. But the great thing
I
about
played
Les
Vader
Paul
first.
no two are the same. Like even like you figure, you know, your standard 2024 Gibson USA, you know, we're using a CNC machine to start. but somebody lays their mitts on it at some point, and they're all just a little different. You don't get that as much with other brands. Other brands are pretty consistent. It's just pick your color and go. But Les Pauls are still that unique. They all have a character to them. Yeah. What's up, Dan Gorman? He's like, hey, everybody.
Right on, Dan.
Easy there with your exclamation.
No, Dan.
Be right back.
Yeah, we went like 3 or 4 different stores, and I guess we went to Big House Guitars third, and they had the black Les Paul Custom Ryan's got.
That was after the Wendy's?
Huh?
That was after the Wendy's?
Yeah. But we sat in there and we played that custom for I don't know, probably a good hour.
All right, I'm doing a poll.
And you're going through the JJ Junior at that one? Was that
yeah. That would be the guitar.
Yeah.
We convinced Ryan to take the pick guard off that one too.
White, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. One of the limited edition white Tolex JJ 100s that he was signed on the back. But we played that guitar for a good while. Ryan's like, are you going to buy it?
It depends, Trev, or is it just a yes or no? Because there is it depends. Like a black standard, for instance, looks like put a guard on it, break up the blackness. But then you got the flamey flames and stuff, and people don't. So, yeah, that's missing the black tuxedo guard. It's weird. I don't know. Fuck it, we'll just do yes, no.
Looks great without it.
Yeah,
I think that's great.
I tend to prefer it without them, so that's where we are. I'll be the first to
vote. We're doing a poll.
You know, everybody's got their Les Paul guy. Their guy that always played a Les Paul. That's why they love Les Pauls.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, and I just remember like growing up, all the classic guys with all their bursts back in the day or whatever, your Paul Kossoffs and stuff, they all had guards on them.
Well, see, my guy's Gary Moore, and he didn't. Right.
Oh yeah. By the way, Kurt Hammett, biggest ripoff in the history. The amount of money he paid for a guitar that was in 27 pieces. That thing was not a 50 Paul. If that thing was in 27 pieces, Randy,
how about a bunch of glue?
You're buying a bunch of custom shop glue and maybe some vintage wood in there. Maybe.
Are you talking about the Murphy Labs or the actual Greenie?
No, I'm talking about the actual Greenie.
Well, the whole thing about he paid $2 million for that's bullshit.
Yes.
He said he paid way less. He paid under $1 million for it.
Well, as he should. Like I said, the thing was in 27 pieces. Like, back to our previous discussion, Ryan, a refin. Oh, that affects value. What does that affect when it's in the trunk of your car and your car gets rear-ended and your guitar's in 27 pieces? How does that affect the value? Well, you just belong to these guys. I don't care if Elvis fucked the output jack. Don't mean shit to me.
As special as Greenie is, I mean, even Gary in like 89 got a hold of another 59 that he called Stripe. And he liked Stripe better than he liked Greenie. He sold Greenie. He didn't sell Stripe.
How much of that guitar is actually the guitar? Because the body, it's still a 2-piece top book match. So, that's not original. Sure, I'm sure they matched up the grains with photos to make it look as original as possible. But still,
isn't it the unintentional bad wiring of the pickup that makes it so special?
Yeah, Peter Green killed the neck pickup and had it rewound.
Yeah.
And
backwards too.
Well, everyone thinks, he just put the pickup in upside down, and that's how you get the out of phase, and that's not possible. You have to take the magnet out and put the magnet in backwards.
Yeah. Although I will say, switching the pickup around does do a thing, not a dramatic thing, but it does do a thing because I have the bridge pickup flipped around in a gold top of my former gold top F-phone of mine, and it did do a thing. I don't know. I couldn't tell you what it exactly does, Randy, but it sounded different enough. I ended up buying the damn guitar, and I don't even like gold tops.
Well, Ed did that with his Amber Music Man around end of '93. He flipped the neck pickup around on it,
right,
and swore it sounded better. So,
which is why now they're put in backwards in all the Wolfgangs.
Yep.
The Silver Burst.
This is a guitar that This is one of those that I was, for the longest time, never can find a Les Paul that I like. Never can find one. None of them that sound good. None of them feel good to me.
Right.
And the Claudia was first, and then the custom I found, and this is all within 3 months, 3-4 months of each other. That I found these amazing Les Pauls that I couldn't leave the shop without. Well, I did with the custom, but I bought it the next day.
Went back and got it anyway.
This one surprised me. This is the what's the dude's name? Adam Jones?
Yeah.
Adam Jones.
This is his standard model, US made.
The artwork on the back?
Just on the back of the headstock, it has that there. Yeah, but that doesn't bother me. I've forgotten that that's even there.
Of course, does that have a volute on the neck?
It does.
Yes.
I changed the truss cover because
That's the details.
I didn't need.
I'm big on. I hate it when guitar companies like, it's based off as 77, blah 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 blah. Well, then it should have a volute.
Right.
Les Pauls had volutes at that time, and for them to take the time to do that, that's reprogramming of machinery. Like, I love that idea right there. Hate Silverburst. I love that thing because they did that. And I hate volutes. But
Mine does not have a volute.
But this guitar
Mine's
feels
a 60 standard.
It feels amazing.
No volutes in the 60s. It wasn't until the 70s.
On standards, you don't usually get an ebony board. These come with an ebony board.
Right.
I like the snap of ebony.
Right.
And this guitar is one that I was like, let me try it out. And I actually tried the Epiphone version first. And I was like, okay, it's all right. But I brought it back. Then I tried the standard version. I was like, oh my God, that thing is just, don't sleep on these. I mean, you can get one of these for a little over $2,000 now. These are amazing Les Pauls.
It's funny, they added the volute because they're like, headstocks are all breaking off. They'll add a volute. Didn't help.
No, that needs a scarf joint.
Yeah. Design flaw. Yeah. So if you notice, actually with Epiphone Les Pauls, headstock isn't tilted back quite as much. It's not quite as radical. And guess what? It's a little more stable in the tuning and less likely to break off. And scarf joint.
I'm kind of a firm believer that if you don't drop your guitar, the headstock's probably not going to come off. So.
But with Les Pauls, it's crazy. Like, you can just ding, like I've seen that happen. Just not hit it
on the
against
stand,
something
perfectly safe and well until
you might as well just afflict it. And snap, how? One was guy on carpet laying it down. He was just going to lay it down on the floor, and just must have just thudded it just right. Just poof, and it just all like, oh, you want to talk about damper on the evening? All of a sudden, you're like,
you're right.
You just broke the Lester Pulphus.
Oh well.
So want to just
one moment in time
right now? Yeah.
Didn't happen.
Well, I did that on I had an ESP Eclipse, which is their Les Paul shaped object.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that guitar probably about 10 years, and it fell probably about a foot face first, and that headstock snapped right off.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. And in theory, it's I guess it's more of the shock of anything else. But yeah, don't pull a Dave on the Les Paul. Which, for those who don't know, I'm co-hosting.
He got so lucky.
Go with Dave Nesdahl, and he's holding up this custom shop Les Paul, and just drop. Right
and it's got this. It's got a broken headstock. And then he picks it up. It's like, holy shit! It didn't break.
Right.
And the funny part is, he was claiming that was his new Les Paul. No, fuck no. Dennis still owned that Les Paul. He lent it to Dave to try out.
Well, at that point, when it starts falling, it's yours now.
Right. But then again, most people say the Les Pauls play better and they sound better once they have a headstock break and it's repaired. And so I personally don't believe them, but I'm glad to pay them.
Maybe once or twice, but not 17 times.
Well, I think they say it's it's stronger at that point. Like if you break a bone, your bone heals. It's stronger at that point than any other part of your bone. So.
As long as all the wood's still there.
Well, they break right there at the area of the nut, and then all that's, some people dowel, then glue them, some people don't. But either way, the joint's stronger at a resonant point. Mm-hmm. Which is why I think people say, it's more resonant now. Well, you just had a big glue joint at one of the resonant points of the guitar.
A lot more density in this particular spot.
I remember Richie broke the headstock off his Epi 335 twice. But the second time he broke it behind the previous break. Which he goes, which shows how well I can fix a guitar because it broke behind my repair. It's like,
exactly.
Okay, sir. Unbelievable. Broke the headstock on his Les Paul Menace, and Phil McKnight repaired it. Plays much better. Well, there you go.
Now, how much does that have to do with just the guy knowing how to set up a guitar afterwards? I mean,
No,
the repair parting is certainly something.
Ryan,
but if you had not broken the guitar and just given it to that fella to set it up, how much better would it have been?
Well, somewhat.
Ryan, you could answer that question that Yeti Nightcat's got. Is the neck of the Epi and the neck of the Gibson different? Because you at one point had an Epiphone, Adam Jones.
True.
They felt very, very similar. The standard one, I think, is probably a little thinner, a little smaller. It's just a little more comfortable to me, but very close as far as the size of them.
Well, the Epiphone version of that is based off the custom, isn't it?
Yes. And generally on the Epiphone runs, you don't get a lot of true custom variants. More or less it's finish stuff that's easily swapped in and out without having to reprogram machinery or anything. Why I was shocked with actually the Epiphone Greenie was so different because it had different pickups, but it had small vintage size frets in it, which I've never seen in an Epiphone before. So it's like, wow, that means they actually had to have new fret wire brought to the Chinese factory to do. I'm like, that's a big deal because any variants, like the thing whenever I show off my Wolfgang, right? And you're like, well, it's a hardtail, but it's got a locking nut. Well, yeah, because they're not going to reprogram the CNC machine for a standard nut for a handful of guitars. Because really, how many people own a hardtail Wolfgang?
I only know two.
Morons like me. They're like, hey, I like it, but can you get rid of the wiggle stick?
Well, that was a design feature that Edward wanted on it.
Yeah.
He wanted the locking nut even on the stop tailpiece guitars.
Makes sense. Then you get the fine tuners with the that bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Weird tailpiece thing from the Gibby lineup of the 70s Gibby.
And no possibility of a detuner.
Well, you don't need to. No, you can't. Yeah, it's a hassle.
Because you have to set it.
There's not enough room in that fine tuner. Oh, and you gotta love those tailpiece. I don't know if you've played with one, Ryan, but they're great. Because if you back off the fine tuner too much, the string just pops out.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's more of like a slide thing that moves back and forth.
It's like the block in a Floyd Rose kind of thing, but has a notch and it just rotates forward. You put the string in, it rotates kind of back into place. But when you back off too much, it just pops out.
Just flies out.
Which is why generally I leave the A and E string locking nut loose so I can tune it because it is a hardtail. All it does is rattle and nobody hears it except for me.
Well, see, that's the beauty of having multiple guitars, though. You need a new tuning, buy a new guitar. Well, you need a drop D, buy another guitar.
Set it up that way, and then you leave it, and you always have one.
Oh, this one has to be tuned in drop C. Buy another guitar.
Right.
That's the excuse that you come up with.
Or just I have an addiction problem to guitars. I have to buy new ones.
It's been a minute.
The struggle is real. Thankfully, factories don't set up their guitars when they ship them anymore. And when I play them in these demos, most times they're very hard to play, so I don't fall in love. But when I do, because I'm thinking, God, I play 100 guitars a year. If I fall in love with 10%, yeah, and also, guys, the great thing about Les Pauls is it's a great journey because they are so different. But don't play a fucking Murphy Lab because it ruins
all else are ruined from now on.
Yeah. Like literally, I was saying, I played Gibson USA's. They play great. Grab a custom shop. I could feel a slight difference. Couldn't tell you what it was, but there is a difference. And then I played the Murphy Lab, and it was that much better again. And then I shot a demo on R8 a couple weeks later, and I might as well have been doing an Epiphone. Like, it was just, I'm like, what a big stinking pile. I'm like, wait a minute, this is a custom shop guitar, but I was just completely ruined.
See, I think there's still a lot of variants because I've played some Murphy Labs where I'm like, nope, no, thank you. Yeah. I very honestly
into it to make it so unique for the player. You'll find when you find the right one, you're like, oh, this is heaven.
Very honestly, this Les Paul right here, of all the years that I've played, all the guitars that I've played, all the different brands, all the different Les Pauls, looking for one, this is absolutely, Murphy Labs and everything, this is absolutely the best playing Les Paul that I've ever put my hands on. You know, a lot of guys say that, you know, right. Especially if they're selling one. Oh yeah, it's the best one I've ever. Why are you selling it? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
It was enough to turn Randy, I'm not a Les Paul guy, into buying a Les Paul. I mean,
yeah, this thing
within a week.
This thing feels better than any Murphy Lab that I ever played, and this is a custom shop. This was the 59 VOS,
yeah,
right?
Dirty Lemon, and just absolute best playing Les Paul that I've ever felt. If this is what they were like in 59, then no wonder those things are so popular.
Right.
That was my problem with the Murphy Lab, right? And as soon as the guy handed it to me, I put my hand around the neck to grab it, and immediately I went, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, I knew right then.
Yeah,
yeah. It's the neck profile. I couldn't tell you what, that was different about the neck profile, but just my hand went, it was like it was meant for it. And now I look at it every time I go in there, and it mocks me. It's like, I'm sitting here, I'm like, yeah, I still don't have 10 grand.
Yep.
Sorry.
I walked into the store that had this, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, no. So they handed it to me, and as soon as I put my hand around the neck, just like that, I was like, oh, no. So I sat down, and I played a G chord, and I was like, crap. I gotta buy this thing. So I knew right then.
That's what I love about Les Pauls. It's like when you find the right one, it's like you just put on your favorite pair of shoes. All of a sudden, you're like, holy crap! Like, I didn't. RFS, do I own any Epiphones currently? Yep, I still own one over there. Hey, Milt. I played Epiphone Les Pauls for years, gigging with them. I had a thing for Korean-built Epi Les Pauls from the late 90s, early 2000s. You could still find them relatively cheap. They've shot up in value now. I think they carry like a 20% premium compared to a Chinese-built Epiphone. Scott Brockway says he needs an 83V and an 83 Explorer. I get it. I found the V I want is it was the custom shop V that they did for Kurt Hammett, like a 78V. I don't know what it was. I saw that. I was like, I like that color. The way the knobs were, the pickguard color, the relation. I was like, that's the V I want.
79.
79. Thank you. Yeah, but which is, again, nothing special necessarily, but I just went, yeah, that's the variant I like for whatever reason. So
that's the one that you talking about, the custom shop one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was in Righteous Guitars here, and this is before I knew it was a Hammett model. I walked up and I'm looking at it, and it's in a display case, and I'm like, holy crap, that thing's expensive. And I'm looking at it, it's got like duct tape down the side of it. I'm like,
yep,
it looks like a piece of crap.
Right. Yep.
And then I realized what model it was. But yeah, definitely not the prettiest.
That was a limited run they did for what, like the 30th anniversary of Master of Puppets or something like that. 20th anniversary, maybe. I think it was 30th. And now he's got the Epiphone version of it, the purple sparkle.
Right.
And I think you can get it in black as well. But, he had during that Kill 'Em All era, that was his main guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had I've only seen it once. It was if you ever saw the Cliff 'Em All home videos.
Yep.
Where his V gets snatched out and he holds it over the crowd like a dumbass. Yeah. And they grab it and it just goes to the back of the club and he has to play his backup for like no remorse. And it's a single humbucker Gibson V. It's actually a Fernandez.
Mm.
Kirk had several Fernandez guitars in the early 80s.
Right.
because Fernandez was, I mean, shit, they were a Japanese company that made great clones
Yep.
that, truthfully, at that time period, were probably better guitars than what Fender and Gibson were putting out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I debated. It came up in what was it, Charles 75 Ends chat today that when Brent was showing off his heritage, and Laz made a comment. Oh, they're better than anything Gibson's putting out. It's the original factory. I was like, well, first of all, when Gibson sold the place, the reason they didn't take the machinery was the tooling was all worn out. That's why we got weird shaped heads and stuff like that. And also, I'm pretty sure since the factory shut down around 82, Ryan, I don't think there's anybody still working there from 82. Like, they're all retired. They're long gone. You know, I'm not saying they didn't pass along how to build a guitar to the next set of people, but other than location, there's no similarity at this point.
Yeah.
Or next to none, I'll say.
Yeah.
Right.
I've played some heritage guitars, and they're good.
Nice.
They're good.
Yeah.
You know,
They're
and
okay.
I'm sure that if you searched and just like Gibson's, you know,
Yep.
you can find a real diamond in there, but none of the ones that I've played really ever impressed me.
Nope.
And am I a brand snob? Does the headstock have to be Gibson?
No.
Yes.
No, it just has to be presentable to you. It just can't be ugly.
That's
Oh,
my
yeah.
biggest problem with the heritage guitars is that headstock.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
It's just
like their
that
headstock. though,
doesn't
either.
look
Yeah,
right.
it kind of reminds me.
It's like an Edsel.
It's
You
like
know,
an
it's
Area
like-
Pro headstock from the 70s. It just
Well, nothing against Epiphone guitars. A lot of those are great. But I got that what's his face?
Adam Jones.
Adam Jones Epiphone. It's got the Gibson.
we're gonna write that on the back of the guitar, Randy.
Yeah, but they're
Adam
great.
Jones as he holds it up, right?
Well, I mean, that's a testament to the guitar being good because I don't even care who the guy is that
Yeah, exactly.
it's based on. You know, I don't even remember his name. But the Epiphone headphone or headstock was the same as a Gibson headstock, but it said Epiphone across the whole thing. That drove me insane. I'm sorry. You know?
At least it was the open book headstock. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't Kalamazoo, which is kind of a in between, or the older Epiphone, which looks great on a fucking Sheridan, not on a Les Paul.
Yep. And then they started.
Pops finally fucking woke up, eh?
Quentin,
Apparently.
what's going on, man? Yeah, he'll be live in 5 minutes now.
Oh
He's
yeah.
Maybe live
Oh
on
yeah.
that.
Yeah, they started like 2018 or 19. They started putting like small wings on the Epiphone headstocks.
Yeah, that was the Kalamazoo headstock variant, which was after Gibson started building them, they started using that headstock on certain models. But it was my area, and I mentioned it to Aljon Go, which could be one of the reasons, Trev, why he hasn't appeared on the channel. Was I'm like, just put the Gibby headstock on Les Pauls. Everybody wants it. And he's like,
Yeah.
no, you know, Epiphone's its own thing. I said, the V's and Explorers use the same headstocks as Gibson's.
They're close.
And he just stopped. He says, I was like, yeah.
The Epiphone Explorer headstock has always been a little bit skinnier than the Gibson headstock until I guess when they did the Carina reissue last year, it's got the right headstock on it.
Yeah. But, like I said, within close. Like, you look at it, yeah, it's in it, you know, the headstock. It's not. Oh, I guess we'll grab it.
I think for me, it may just be an aesthetics thing because the absolute best looking headstock on a Les Paul
It's
is
not fucking this.
is
abomination.
this.
No, that's fucking god awful.
Right?
I don't hate the idea of the Alda Nova hockey stick.
Yeah, I know. But this, to me, this is what a headstock should look like on a Les Paul. Even the standards, because it's not doesn't have the binding on it. I'm
Yeah,
like,
but the silhouette's the same.
yeah. But I love the Gibson headstock with the binding on it on the custom. That's my favorite. It just looks proportionally correct.
It does, yeah.
Well, it's like when Fender decided they were building their version of Les Paul with the Tele Deluxe, where they did the 2 humbuckers, the 4 knobs, and they put a Strat headstock on it. I'm like, stop! Just leave the Tele headstock at least. Do the rest, fine. Bring back.
guitar players are weird, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well,
times.
yeah,
Yeah,
a
guitar
headstock
can,
will
be
make
the
them.
great weight, sounds amazing, plays amazing. You're like, yeah, but the fucking headstock doesn't work for me. You're like, you don't
Yep.
you don't play the headstock. You're like, it doesn't matter.
Don't matter.
You get to
A
a certain
headstock.
point.
And especially when you're playing it like standing up, you're barely noticing curves and angles, and
Right.
Mhm.
doesn't matter. I know it's because you're like, because I know what it looks like.
Enter
Tom.
Presley Custom Guitar.
Bet Tom brought up the James, was it the Tyler's?
James
That's
Tyler
the
shit.
fucking worst headstock ever.
Every time Michael Nielsen plays on one of his videos, I have to make a comment about the headstock. I'm like, horrible headstock, but great video.
See you, Jeremy. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. Appreciate it. See, now I look at it and it just screams 80s to me, anyways. Like the ugliness, I'm beyond it. I don't know, explain it. Well, I could explain it one way, but my sister's here, so I'm not, because she'll puke. But
Fair enough.
now I just look at, I laugh. It's like seeing a Dodge Neon from the 90s. I just kind of laugh because it's a sign of the time. So I'm like, yep, 80s right there. Right with the print of the logo 15,000 times down the headstock. I'm like, yeah, you can't change it at this point. It's just so 80s.
I agree, Scott. The Tyler headstock looks like a hand getting ready to fist someone. That's pretty accurate.
Oh, that's just wrong. My favorite headstock, though, is the headless.
Right.
No headstock. No headstock. Then,
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, Quentin, the Mech Mole headstock's pretty fucking terrible too.
It's funny you mentioned that, Ryan. Trev and I were doing a hang with our good friends Lucas and Martin there at L&M Guitar Corner the other day.
Mhm.
And we're like an hour and a half into the hang. And all of a sudden I realized hanging up on the wall behind Lucas is what's that, a fucking Strandberg? Yeah,
Strandberg.
headless guitar. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, what the fuck is that on a wall hanger? It's got no headstock to hang from. And of course, I'm in the a few joints at that point. So I'm like, and I'm just fucking baffled. And I'm like, whoa, and they explain, yeah, he's using a ukulele hanger, and it works for some Strandbergs. So
Yeah. Strandberg still has like a really wide spot near the nut.
Volute, if you will.
There you go. that you could work a little hanger on it, I guess.
It's like a little mushroom top. Right, John? Since John's
No,
not here,
Michael
he would have
Barr.
said it.
Got to have an angled back headstock on a 3 on the side. It looks weird when they go straight back. Parker Fly headstock's weird. I'm not gonna lie, that's weird.
Yeah, they were unique for sure.
Yeah,
And they
Hey,
did redesign. They did.
we are
redesign.
live on the air. This isn't just a hang.
I can't hear it.
We got 82 people watching. Nobody can hear because she's got the head. Yeah, he's got headphones.
Hello.
We're live with 82 people watching. So
Okay.
just let
I
you know.
won't say anything bad.
And it's going to skew the demographic. I'm just saying.
Okay. I don't have anything to say. I just wanted to know if you have any tape.
What kind of tape?
Tape so I can pin this onto my wall.
Not that kind of tape.
Tom Lind is here.
That was all she had to say about that.
That's it.
huh?
Yeah, just need some tape.
You can't use tape to put things on a wall.
All right, Dan.
Well, sure you
can.
can.
Let me introduce you to the thumbtack.
You can do the Scotch tape thing, or you do the tape over the corners of the poster once the
I mean,
thumbtack
you're going to
kinda
get
works
at
through
max
over time.
12 months out of that before it starts getting hard and the glue goes to shit and it's going to start falling off and
Oh well.
tape.
I find thumbtacks were
Worst-
okay for hanging posters if you had central air. If you have open windows in the summer, the tack the poster get a little air behind it, start buffing it. I was like, I gotta tape
Worst
up
is
the
the
footer.
electrical tape because it just turns to goo.
What's up, Jim Cox?
I'll be back.
Is that Jimmy's alter
I'll
ego?
be Beethoven.
Every time I see Jim Cox in the chat, I can't help it but think Jim Cox RV because there's an RV dealership in town literally called Jim Cox
Jim
RV.
Cox RV.
Right.
Yep, you missed Becca, sis.
There was a
Dan Gorman says, I'm watching you guys on an iPhone 8 Plus. No, I'm not with the times. Yeah, well, I shoot my videos on an iPhone 6. So, consistently since 2019.
Pretty good.
Oh, Rob Blackmore official sent me iPhone 67. You showed that off last week on Charles' show. So we don't need to show it off tonight. Because everybody watching here is watching that. Yeah, well I will do, because that's the example, the Kalamazoo headstock, where it's halfway, Randy. You know, they did the half-assed attempt. They kind of added some tone corners.
Right.
But not really.
No, it's not enough to be good.
It's still a little pregnant in the middle. That's what it is. It's still a little pregnant.
With the Schecter headstock and the Epiphone headstock coming together.
The Schecter headstock will fit into the Gibson headstock.
Yeah, like butter.
It's like the exact reverse of the Gibson.
No, I'm good, Josh. I'm running her into the ground. High mileage. You know, as long as the battery keeps going, fuck it. You know, don't need to get a new phone.
Or as I like to say, battery.
I used to do that. Now I went with battery. It's
battery
more aerodynamic.
Battery. I feel like I need to do it every time.
Yeah. It's an or. No, that'd be the Hamer headstock, which is like the blank for an Epiphone or Gibson. They just haven't cut out anything yet, right? Because it's just kind of rounded off.
Hamer headstock.
Oh, and by the way, congrats to Scott Brockway. Got himself one of them Randy Rhoads Distortion Pluses.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about the poll.
Ben, you should have
the poll's been going for an hour.
Scotty playing last night, man. He's got his phone dialed in, man.
All right. So apparently 62% say no guard. 38 say yes. Oh, people are disappointed.
Well, that's an overwhelming no.
Yeah, 2/3, yeah.
No guard on Les Paul. Those are my people.
What's going on? Yeah, but I thought they were my people, Randy. You know, it's my channel.
63 votes.
Victor Beebe. What's up, buddy? Yeah, I just ended down to 61. All right, well, there we are. Exactly, Billy. 62% of you are wrong. No, I will. No, I was going to add that it depends, because I understand that, like, if you got the really nice flamey or, you know, something like that, you want to show it off. I get it, but I don't get it. For me, it's like when I see a Telly without a pick guard. It just looks really weird to me. It's like, it's missing something.
Yeah, you know, I saw this one, and this is one of those dealer select quilt tops.
Right.
The Honeyburst quilt, AAA quilt top. And this top, if I had better lighting in here, which will require me to get up, the top on this one is just nuts.
I never expect
when you do the tilt, they're trying to make it flat.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the legend himself, Steve Brand in the house. He's like, where the fuck's John Deschain? John Deschain, to recap, folks joining in. We got 88 people watching. Holy shit. John has no internet, so we had the OU8.
OU Crue Rescue.
Right.
And rescue has to be spelled with the U that has the little 2 dots on it.
The umlauts. So, but yeah, I don't know. I got hooked on Les Pauls after playing Les Pauls for all day with Ryan, and then playing Claudia.
Yeah, and definitely Keith Campbell. All painted Les Pauls, really. Like, what are you hiding? You know, like, just put a fucking guard on it.
No guard on a gold top. God damn it.
Being
definitely
a
on a gold top. In other words, it's too much gold. I don't like gold tops to begin with, though. Although, I admit I'm warming to it, Randy. I am warming to it.
The gold top, if it started to get that green hue, is right where I like them. When they're fresh, it's kind of like,
It's weird. The gold top Les Paul is like a blonde Telly, and the fact that the more relict they are, the cooler they look.
So, does that include, like, tobacco smoke and...
Oh, yeah. Well, even, like, you know, when those blonde P90 covers, right, they get, because they're starting to, like, cure over time, so they're all wavy looking, and you're like, you know, they're just stuck to the bobbins at that point. You're not pulling them off. Oh, yeah. You never put a black guard on a gold top. Never, Josh. It's got to be a white guard. Or a green guard.
Just no pick guard at all.
Right. You know, Bonamassa had that signature gold top there for a little bit, and it was all black plastics on it, and it looked terrible.
Doug Aldridge also does the black guard on his, and I don't like it. I like him, don't like the guard on it.
Yep.
And it's like, no, off-white. Because you can't, don't do pure white. That looks weird. It's too new looking. It's got to be that kind of creamy color.
Now a Stratocaster, if they come out with a Stratocaster that does not have a pick guard on it, it's like, it just doesn't look right.
Right?
You know?
But yet, throw a Kramer headstock, Charvel, any other company could do the exact same physical layout without a guard, and you're like, yep, sold, no problem.
Yep, looks
but if
normal.
it's a Fender, you're like, yeah, I know. It's like a Telly without a guard. You're like, it looks kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's even like Esquires. They look weird without the neck pickup. You got this big white guard with no pickup. And I'm like, ooh, it's weird. I'm like, I don't know about that.
See, Steve knows any carved top should never have a pick guard.
I disagree.
There we go.
And juniors definitely have to have the pick guard. They look weird without them. But they're
I'll go
basically
with that.
They're not carved at all. It's a flat thing. Explorers without guards are weird. Yeah.
I can go either way on them.
I can live with a black pick guard, but black with a white pick guards.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the black. Well, generally though, it seems like any like Fender product is that it's a black body with a white guard are generally cheap low end stuff. I found just for whatever reason, unless it's a signature.
Fair enough.
Steve's got it there. If you were right, I'd agree with you.
Okay, Dave, if you're doing a fabric top Strat, then no guard. I get that. Although I do a clear guard. I do the clear guard thing because then it's still got a guard.
Amanda is not a fan of the mint green plastics.
Oddly enough, mint green on shell pink, it works.
It has a place.
Yeah.
Mint green on Sonic blue with an ebony board.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. If it's done right, the mint green doesn't look mint green when it's offsetting the other color. But Strats can get away with a pure white guard, but it may be, like a blonde Telly, but otherwise do an off-white. It just...
Well, that's weird. When my latest acquisition is a 2011 Japanese-made Charvel SoCal, and it's white, and they came with a black guard and 2 humbuckers. And it's currently getting new pickups wound for it, and it's going to come back with a cream guard, a zebra humbucker, and a cream single coil in the deck with black hardware.
Lovely.
Zach just wants to do the mic drop. My favorite headstock's design is one of my handmade acoustics. Right. All right, easy there. This is Zach Thong playing the part of Guitar Man 45 tonight, folks. Water Buffalo will understand that. Dan Gorman has the question: what is the ugliest guitar on record? Ooh.
Man.
Well, off the top of my head,
there's a bunch.
Have you seen that Vince Neil guitar?
Theodore. The Epiphone Theodore. I'll go with his ugliest guitar for me.
Wait a minute. Vince Neil's
Kramer made one that looked like a freaking Klingon battle
Gorky
axe.
Park?
It's like got a pointed end and it comes up to a V. Yeah.
Pull up on Gorky Park, Trev.
That one's pretty gnarly.
Gorky or Corky?
Gorky.
Gorky.
With a G.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are pretty bad. Bet Tom says the guitar. You're not wrong.
No.
The Bo Diddley box? I have a soft spot for the Bo Diddley box, Terry.
The reverse V with the V headstock that Gibson made.
Reverse V, where it's just, yeah. That's, yeah. Yeah, the reverse V might be it. Although, like say, the Epiphone Theodore is right up there.
Actually, there's no way I'm going to vote that's the worst. Hang on.
Ooh, I don't know. That headless bass that BC Rich owns, that thing's a fucking abomination.
BC Rich has made some abominations.
This thing?
No.
No, I don't think that's
the
it.
Russian thing, wasn't it? No.
Came up as Gorky Park guitar.
No.
You know, Floyd. So I mean, it looks like a pylon, but.
All right, Trev, show off the Epiphone Theodore, because that's my recommendation. We lost 10 people. They're Theodore fans, apparently. Oh, like, fuck gone.
You know, the PVT 60 is pretty bad, too.
Right? Yeah, those PVs in that era. It's like, let's knock off Fender, but make them weird and creepy. Like we haven't started to sand them down yet, so the bodies won't thick and over shape. Yeah, weird. It's like if you overinflated a Fender, something. I don't know. They're heavy too.
Mm-hmm.
One of this, like a
tulip.
Yeah,
that's my nomination of possibly the ugliest guitar ever,
and way overpriced. Are you kidding me? $2,700.
Well, it's a gimme.
Trev, look up a Kramer Triax. Triaxe.
That may be the one.
That's what Ryan's talking about. That's what Ryan's got to be talking about.
Right, I remember them. Yeah. Oh, fuck, Gene Simmons is involved.
This thing?
Oh, they're in the red. Yeah,
there's the red one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a Buck Rogers guitar.
That's the one.
On the other hand, slight soft spot for it, only because hashtag it's so 80s. Like it's just
it looks like the Galga ship on the video game.
It is.
Oh, you'd have to shoot lasers out the headstock of that,
right?
Right?
For sure.
Yeah. It's just Kramer had a handful of, definitely.
It has a Floyd and a couple of humbuckers. So, I mean, if you're standing up, does it matter? I mean, sitting down, that's going to be a pain.
It's got a pacer control layout too, but
yeah.
How the hell do you play that? I mean, you got to be standing.
You got to hide your face first of all.
Well, you never know. I mean, it could be. Well, you got the jack right here along the flat line where it's going to be in your crotch if you're going to play it.
No.
Jimmy Biter style.
No.
Those headstocks on the Kramer aluminum necks were pretty bad too.
Oh yeah, with the split with the.
Call it the tuning fork.
Yeah. What's with the trim fork headstock? Yep. There you go, folks. Yeah, I'm sticking with the Theodore myself because I'm like, no, nobody needs a tulip-shaped guitar. Well, we put an Explorer headstock on it, so
it's a better hockey stick than it is a guitar.
Bit Tom's is the Prince cymbal guitar. What about the Cloud?
Shaped body, and you got yourself a winner.
Well, are we talking guitars ever made, or are we talking production guitar?
Production.
Good question.
Like, I go production because somebody had to approve that design and said, oh, yeah, we can sell this many units of that.
Right.
The Cloud guitar that ESP made for Prince was pretty bad. And it was a production guitar for a short amount of time.
Ooh, Noisebloom, the Gibson Corvus. That was pretty fucking ugly.
Corvus with a C?
Yeah.
Yeah, Corvus. Right, Murray? Yeah, the Theodore has
that is fucking nasty.
Bo, wasn't the guitar on Revenge of the Nerds, wasn't that a Strat Head Kramer Voyager or a Beak Neck Kramer Voyager? The Kramer's Star guitar.
Right.
Everybody
ready for this? Model was horrible. Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck is that?
Yep.
Oh. Wow. And it's something weird. Gibson, you're not allowed to do dot inlays. I'm sorry. It's maybe on the 335s, but
Explorer.
Dot inlays, yeah. It's just weird. Like it always seems like they're cheaping out.
It's kind of like Pac-Man jumped onto a fucking Steinberger or something. What the?
Well, this guitar is reminding me. I'm a headless guy. I love headless guitars, but anything made by Klein, It's just awful.
Yeah, that thing.
9
That's
for
like,
the Klein.
I don't know. Oh, and it's got the harmonica. Oh, it's got the wraparound tailpiece thing, like harmonica bridge tailpiece thing. Yeah, that abomination. What the fuck? That's good. Thank you, Trev. Yeah. And what are the pickups? Like active pickups? Looking EMG motherfucking things? Like, oh, wow. But let's, go with the natural. And that was the thing in the 70s. Let's go all black with natural wood. Like, it just looks like you asked your grandfather in 1976 to build you a guitar in the wood shop.
Right.
It's like, oh, I found this odd shape. We'll just start with that.
Pac-Man.
Is this?
Can you pull up a Klein headless, Trev?
Fine, headless, you bet I can. Hey, let me close some windows because I got like 27 windows open.
I
27,000.
think Dan's regretting asking now. He's like, now that's one ugly guitar. Yeah.
Fresh screen. All right. Klein with like a K-L-I-N-E.
K-L-E-I-N, I think. I don't know.
You know, Uli
Yeah.
Roth's that fucking thing Uli John Roth plays is pretty bad too.
They're like $50,000, man.
Like
guitar.
37 frets or something.
Yeah. Oh, I can make any sound because of just boosting certain frequencies. That's not how it works, Uli John Roth. That's not how it fucking works. He's like, yeah, this sounds like a Strat. No, it doesn't. This sounds like a Les Paul. Again, no, it doesn't. Yeah, the Sky guitar. Right, Noise Bloom.
Oh, this is a bad picture.
What about the Music Vox Space Ranger?
Ooh. How about any of the Vox guitars of the 60s?
Fair enough.
They were, well, I'm going to say that. Yeah, now I'm just going down that rabbit hole of ugliness.
All right. Well, actually, this one.
You could couple this up with one of your ugly album cover nights.
Right.
Oh, this is way left field from that.
Yeah, we could do headstocks 1 week, bodies different.
There you go.
Is this what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yep.
Those are awesome.
I remember them.
Well, I mean, you could put a Steinberg. You could put a trans trim in that by the looks
You
of it.
could. Yeah, and they have several of those
and
made
replace
with
those with some dime buckers and maybe a
See, that looks like
in
that.
the neck.
Craig, you
Yeah.
know what that looks like? That looks like the grandfather of my fucking headless guitar that's
I
just
don't hate it.
evolved into an fucking 30, 40 years later.
Right. It is. It's like an LSD based but
Yeah, like
Send it to Jimmy Biter and let him reshape the body with his router.
I got a router.
Every time you see someone playing one of these, he was always some fucking jazz head playing one. And you're like, what the fuck? You know?
Yeah.
But then again, that was the 80s, right? Like every bass player, regardless of genre of
I
music.
mean, you
was
got to
playing
think he's going to
Steinberg
put his
bass.
leg right here underneath the controls.
well, it's designed to be ergonomic, is what the whole thing is with that
Exactly.
guitar.
Not designed to be pretty, that's for
So
sure.
is that function over fashion? I mean, because it's
Yes.
kind of pretty too. I do dig that glittery red ruby fucking pickguard thing and the and natural
tortoise.
wood. It looks like the pine table at like the
Yeah,
dining
that
hall
tortoise
for
shell
Christ's sake.
over like walnut or something.
And
Like,
you can still order those guitars, and you can get a trans trim in it. Yes.
exactly, Tom. Fusion guitar. Yeah, like they're all playing some fucking weird jazz shit on.
So
it.
it's a piece of
Like
the table
our
from
All right,
Sonny's
What do you want
Barbecue.
next?
The Music Vox VOX Music Vox Space Ranger.
Hang on. Music box Space Rangers.
Exactly, Mike.
Vox, Vox like Vox amps.
BOX. Space
I-
Rangers.
It's
I'm gonna
like a
take more
fucking-
medicine here.
It's like if you like Gresh, you'll hate this.
Clickety
I got
clack.
more Houston.
Sorry
Damn.
from my mechanical keyboard. But it kind of looks like something you'd see on OnlyFans. Get on that one too.
And the stream shut down now. Ovation breadwinner for sure, Jimmy.
You want a stream to shut down, get Jimmy Biter in here.
Yep.
He'll shut it down.
He'll start
sent
playing
him a link.
Stone Temple Pilots, and then it's like all of a sudden,
This might be the best one yet. Let's do this one. Open in a new window.
I dig the tortoiseshell guards, Keith, like on
All right,
like
there you go.
with
And
natural
actually,
wood.
okay.
Tortoiseshell works well. But
This is,
Tom with the Kiesel headless. Easy.
Ugh.
What the fuck?
no, wait, did you see the headstock?
I don't know if I got a head start.
It looks like an amoeba attached to the guitar.
It's like a Gresh with
It's like you left
Peyronie's
it near a candle or
disease.
something.
There may be some ladies that like that.
Find
That's what I'm saying.
find a picture of it with a headstock. The headstock's fucking
Fuck's
terrible
sake.
too. It's like the headstock's got Peyronie's disease.
Victor says, anybody have problems with upphone pickup selector on Gibson style guitars? No,
That's a
no
ton-
more
that's a-
problems than on a Gibby.
It's about a $10 fix for a good one.
No, nothing wrong with that. Rob,
It's
Rob
not
Blackmore's very first guitar, Univox Melody Maker style guitar. Yeah, no wrong with that. I dig it.
Yeah, that's definitely not a Klein.
Kind of a double cut.
Oh, that's not the same headstock. What the fuck we got going on here?
I don't know. That looks like a hair.
I don't know. I kind of dig that because it's got the Filtertrons in it and racing stripes. So, all right.
It does.
Yeah, that's
And
not,
it's not quite
the
as,
same guitar.
Engorged.
Gorge.
yeah.
Word I can
right.
think of to describe the
This is
previous
the
horn to
Viagra.
that horn.
This is the
Okay.
Viagra model.
Y'all better put your fucking.
It's like, you just got to take it to a local painter and just have them airbrush a condom on. Yes.
I think I found the one that Randy's talking about. There you go. 'Cause, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
Kinda.
That's fucking bad. Yeah, there it is.
Wow.
They made that in a bass as well.
Wow. Fuck, you gotta give it a reach around to tune it. Like, I feel inappropriate tuning that. And how much neck dive is that guitar gonna have?
Jesus.
Like all
Oh
of it.
man.
Right, well, so,
Complete with
One,
a
two,
with a
three,
bass
four,
boat
five,
sparkle finish.
so that's your tree. You got a tree over here.
Yeah.
At least the D string has perfect alignment.
I don't hate the block inlays on the neck. I mean,
I like the
No, I just
block
hate
inlay.
everything else.
I like the Filtertron pickup.
you know, half full. I'm trying to be half full.
Yeah, I like the Filtertron pickups. Why
And
why
I mean,
they're
this is
put
definitely
together, I'm not
curved for her
sure. Oh, I
pleasure.
see,
There's
because
no
of the
doubt
stupid
about it.
cut. Actually, yeah, the neck pickup's in the wrong spot.
Oh, it's-
Yeah.
you're right. It's a little too far out.
Unless
Well, they
it's
had to-
like some kind of stupid scale length.
No, they had to do it too.
15,
Well.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It's only 20?
I don't think that the bridge pickup's a little too close forward too compared to the bridge. Usually, you want that backed right up against the
Right.
bridge, which is
Be a little
awesome.
more space in here. And yeah.
Like a lot of more space in there. That's just, I don't know.
But-
They make those in a bass as well.
I'm a fan of that paint job. That gold glitter.
the finish, yeah.
I'm not big on the bass boat sparkles.
Easy. Hey, bass boat sparkles add 14% more tone. Okay.
No,
Just
oh,
let
they-
you know. Those are
they've got
tone
a-
sparkles, Randy.
They've got a P90 version with dot inlays too.
Oh well. Then
All right, now for something completely different.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Exactly the same,
They've
but
got a
completely
mini
different.
humbucker version too.
well, of course, because if you wrote for P90s, you might as well do the mini humbucker variant.
Oh, there's a P90 with a Bigsby.
Oh, was that like a Little Trees air freshener? Like fuck with two
And you
singles.
got a
What's
humbucker
the
in the
mini
middle and
humbucker
a
in the
single
middle?
coil at the bridge and a single
What
coil
the
in the
heck?
end. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Right.
The 5-way switch and a fucking, what is that? Stomp box pedal? Fuck.
You got it. No, that's like a tele. I think that's like a tele knob at low profile. Yeah, mini humbucker in the middle. Wait, a fucking Brent Mason? Like what the fuck?
Do people buy these things?
No.
I don't know. It was there, so I thought I'd share.
Yeah, it's interesting. But it just looks like an air freshener.
Well, it
Good
looks
for
like
Christmas tunes, I
somebody's
guess. They
been
paint it green and play Christmas tunes on it.
been playing it because the edge of that middle pickup is all worn,
Yeah.
It looks like it still has the condom.
or maybe it's still the plastic on it.
Yeah.
trying to
It
see if
looks
they have
way
any-
too low compared to the other two pickups.
I think Rob called it right. Looks like a wet floor sign.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just lean up two of them back to back. Why? Because if you're playing those, you're probably also mopping floors.
How many of these guitars that we've just shown does Bo have?
14.
Bo's like, I love my Music Vox Space Ranger.
I got one of those. It's under the bed in the guest bedroom.
There you go.
Yeah, there's a bass.
Right.
That's not totally hideous there.
I don't mind that
Until you
color
see the
scheme,
headstock.
actually, and that bridge is kind of tastefully done.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure on that. I want something. Yeah, this thing's gonna have like no sustain with and the floating bridge. Oh yeah, where you got your choices for it's got that bridge has a bunch of slots, and to intonate it, you can't fine tune it.
No, you just turn the little nuts on each side and try to angle it the best you can.
No, that doesn't affect it
best
at all,
compromise.
Trev. It's in front of it. No, it's in front of it.
here?
That's the bridge.
1, 2,
Yeah,
3,
that's your
4.
bridge.
They've got
Yeah,
their
I've seen that on some classical. No, I can't remember where I saw that style bridge with the different pieces. It was actually little pieces of fret wire was what the saddles were made out of.
they've got their take on a Rickenbacker too.
So you've got alternate spots that you can put. So would that be an altar bridge? Oh, come on. That deserved at least, a little,
72 hours in the
that
hole.
deserved one of those at least. Come on.
Oh, he's retarded, so.
Yeah, I think if they're making it, it's going to be the Wrecking Cocker.
It's actually probably the best looking one they make. It's the Trev. You still pulling stuff up?
I can easily pull something up. What do you want?
It's the Music Vox, the reverse MI-5 12.
Mission Impossible 5.
And
Yeah.
it's a 12 string.
Yeah, it's like that. You can definitely see the Rickenbacker inspiration.
Oh, I bet you can because it's a 12. Well, folks, we'll go a little while longer here. Appreciate you guys stepping in for John.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
show,
no worries,
man.
man.
There's still like almost 70 people hanging out watching our nonsense. Good.
Right?
Is this what you're talking about? I mean, that kind of has a Bel Air look to it, and I don't hate it.
Actually,
I'm
I've
not-
seen, what is it, Warwick? That
I'm not
body
offended.
style.
Yeah, I'm not offended by that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a Warwick thing.
I don't know about the silver paint on
Yeah,
the
and
fretboard.
it
I
kind of
think
looks
it'd be
very
done
into-
better. There's no
I'm
doubt.
hoping that's a shiny rosewood board and not an aluminum.
Is that what you're talking about, Randy? You can't hear
You're
you for
muted,
some
Randy.
reason.
The one I'm talking about is a guitar.
Yeah, that's an 8-string bass.
A guitar.
You can see the
Get tall.
Well, Music Vox, reverse
It's black and white.
12. Black and white. Oh, this thing.
It's got a maple board, black
Was the
block
bass
inlays.
Hang on.
both is like looks more like a bass. Yeah, it's an 8-string. See what you started, Dan?
Right.
Again,
Damn
folks,
it.
I'll be back tomorrow night actually playing some tunes. Kind of. We'll see. As well as doing bad album covers at a new time. Starting that earlier because Charles has to go pick up the boy from college, apparently. So he's just going to dip in, do the bad albums, and then dip out. And then what else we got? I don't know. A couple demos coming out this week of guitars, I guess. Sure. Soda Pop tasting coming out this Saturday as well.
I sent it to you on Messenger, Trev.
Oh, we got the limited edition Gretsch coming out this week, and Easy Randy and Ibanez RG 470 in Tokyo Midnight finish. You know, because I'm the type of guy that plays an RG 470 in Tokyo Midnight.
Right.
You know, I saw it hanging up there. I'm like, wow, that's a cool looking finish.
Where's Steve Brand at?
Yeah.
I hear that guy's got a few Ibanez's.
So this, what are you talking about?
Yeah. That's it.
Ibanez.
Holy crap! That thing's gonna have more neck dive too.
Why the
Well, they gutted
headstock's so
the
big?
headstock. Something weird about maple fretboards with block inlays, though. And yeah, I'm looking at you, Ferd Burfel.
Oh, look, it's like an acoustic with the.
Wait, we don't need to do that next week, Charles? We don't have to do that? All right.
That's a 12-string.
Yeah. It's like a Warwick Rickenbacker reverse PRS headstock.
Yeah, that's. What about, like, let's do classical style for.
No. Just no.
Is it an extra?
Look how close the tailpiece is. To
Although
the
I
bottom
could
of the
use
body.
that tailpiece because I need a tailpiece like that for my knockoff EDS 1275 that has a bent tailpiece. Oh, sweet. All right, Charles. So Charles will be on his regular time tomorrow night, apparently. All right. And he can explain it to us then.
Nice. You know, I didn't realize that the EDS 1275 only had 20 frets until like 2 weeks ago.
I didn't know at all, and I've owned one for a decade. Well, I don't play it. Actually, I don't know if I had it for a decade. It's a chibi knockoff, and I went over to Buddy's place one day because I play it once in a while, and he's like, you know how cheap the hardware is? I'm like, how cheap? And looked at the tailpiece, and the tailpiece was bending from the string pull. I'm like, wow. He goes, yeah, so I backed off the strings, but now I got to find a replacement, which good luck, because made in China, so it's metric.
There's one that Scotty sent in.
Oh, wow. That's...
It's
I like
a
the
Hondo.
color.
It looks like a talk bubble.
I think that might win.
It looks like the old iPhone message.
It looks like
Text
some sort
message
of
bubbles.
Japanese vending machine.
Well, it is a Hondo, so
It's a Yamaha, isn't it? Oh, it's a Tamaha.
No, there, guys. There's the tuning forks there right on the pick guard. All right. Fair enough.
yeah,
Look at
yeah,
that.
that's Yamaha.
Bar.
What does it say on the
You
headstock?
could be tapping and using the bar at the same time. What the?
Yamaha.
Yamaha.
The old. That's the old
So-
school Yamaha. Yeah, they went through a period of time where they went for this experimental phase. I remember.
What do you call that? A katana handle head stock? Or what
Look at the size of those tuners, though. Oof, to me.
Right? Big old butterflies.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was the standard Yamaha headstock on electrics for a period of time in the 70s.
Damn it.
I remember watching a whole history of Yamaha guitars. Oh, yeah, Keith from 5 Watt World. Shout
I
out
mean,
Keith.
that's their emblem, right? For sure, right there.
Yeah, that's
Oh, yeah, that's the
Yamaha.
3 tuning forks.
What is with that bridge?
Oh, Scott says the Hondo H1 is even worse.
Yeah.
I don't even want to.
Can't play the thing standing or sitting down, but probably standing's great.
Hmm.
Weird.
I'll be scouring Reverb for some of these.
Ugliest guitars ever. Oh, shit, you look at that now. It shows 23 minutes behind. Psst. Over. I found that all of a sudden now YouTube with a show running in the background, it'll just stop running.
Yes.
You go back to it and it's like, hey,
Yeah,
guess what?
pauses
It's
it
been paused
when
since
you
you left.
close the screen.
What?
Yep.
Well, this was fun,
that would
boys.
suck for me if it was the same schedule a few years ago. Before you started doing a Thursday show, Ryan, there was a time I was not only watching but moderating 3 shows at once at 8 p.m. on Thursdays.
Right.
And I'm just like, well, I can listen to one, and then I'll just kind of keep an eye on the chats on the other ones, and I'm just going back and forth, back and forth. I was like, Jesus. And of course, feeling, well, I'm the moderator. I got to start interacting too, so I'm active in 3 chats, not really knowing what the show's about.
Cycling through the windows.
Well, Guitar Town Hall was on Tuesdays, wasn't it?
It floated between Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Because I used to have to flip back and forth between that and Fruitcake Tony.
Yeah. And then we end up on Thursdays towards the end.
Yep.
Oh, it went between Wednesdays and Thursdays. That's what it was. Wednesdays and Thursdays, it would flip back and forth, depending on Ty's schedule, when it was still Nez Says. And then because I switched my NASCAR show from Wednesdays to Tuesdays as a result. That's right. Because he had switched to Wednesdays for a while, and then we went back to Thursdays. And then I thought when he ended the show, I debated moving, because originally my Monday show was a Thursday show. I thought about moving it back, but then right around that time, you had started your show, Ryan. I'm like, all right, well, he's got it. You know, I'm not going to step on toes there. So
At the time when we started that up, I mean, Thursdays were pretty much kind of wide open there for that 2-hour window.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, we did the old crunching numbers thing where we're like, okay, so Pete Thorne is on here and he's going to get all the guitar players watching that, so we can't be on at that time.
right.
And then Ben is on at this time and Fruitcake Tony's on here, and yeah, it was the juggling.
I had a few people that, hey, Sundays, 8 p.m. I'm like, hey, I've been doing that shtick since 2018. And I've said it to big channels. Like, 100,000. I'm like, hey, I've been doing this like 3-4 years already at that point. I'm like, do you mind? They're like, oh, sorry, you know. Appreciate it. But it's because I knew though.
Stevie Fry
nice
yet. Right. Thank God he went to Saturdays.
Right. Why am I seeing a drop off an hour into my show? I wonder why.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not looking at you, Amanda. Melton Tins.
But on that note, we should probably wrap things up because it's
Oh,
10
wow,
after
over
10.
2 hours. Time flies when you're
Right?
Yeah.
This
Having
has
fun.
been a very fun hang. Everybody is definitely
man.
coming back. This isn't a part two. This was just substitution. This just a dry run. Let's use John's time slot for initial dry run. But
Next time we'll do a OU crew with the whole OU crew.
yeah, and the only reason, honestly, I haven't had you guys on previously is because I figured, you just did a set for a couple hours. It's like, you don't want to do
I
both.
think about 4 or 5 times a year the planets will align, and it's just like, you know what? Let's keep going.
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely.
And there may be, a Sunday show that we do that might go a bit longer. But, I think that I've even said on the show, Ben's going live. Anybody that wants to go watch, go head on over there. We're going to keep going.
Yeah,
So it's never been any kind of stepping on toes things.
exactly.
But we try to keep it within
Well,
time.
and in all honesty, and I'm okay. For the fact that some people want to hear people play guitar, some people want to hear people talk about guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And you went and brought that to the table after years. People, why don't you play one? We're like, nah, it's a fucking digitals, echo, all this bullshit. And Ryan's like, hey, anybody else want to jam? I'm like, whoa. First of all, you're playing through the StreamYard. That's first fucking okay. And then he's like, you want to come along and jam too? I'm like, you can't do that. He goes, well, no, we figured it out. And I'm like, it's like discovering new technology as a civilization. We're like, oh, we now have this found technology, which is really cool.
Yep. And it should only continue to get better.
Could all get up, have breakfast with Charles. Everybody got a couple hours downtime. We watch a little Pete, jump onto the OU Crew channel all at once, and then jump on the Ben Coombs channel all at once. We could do a whole
There we go.
9-person party.
Right?
Well, Charles Green does his thing.
Oh,
too.
yeah, he got
10 o'clock.
Well, which he was going live an hour later. I'm like,
9 to 10.
I'm like,
so and then
you
it's
might
an
want to
hour
go live
break.
an hour earlier. He goes, why is that? I'm like, Pete Thorne's on. He goes, ooh, good call. Like, yeah. And I was like, well, technically Pete's on 45 minutes into your show, but he never goes live on time. So really, you got
Right.
Yep.
So that would be cool if we could get that planet
All day
alignment
extravaganza.
to do everybody go on Charles's show first to start.
Yeah. Charles 70 Dr. Fabric, and then
Right,
Charles Verde, and then OU Crew.
We'll even get
and
the
Ben
Pete Thorne in there too, man. Good.
It'd be cool to get Pete Thorne in
Well,
there.
yeah, and- yeah, it's not like-
I hope
it's not like Pete necessarily is integrated member of the community like but he's been doing it forever. And a lot of us have met each other through him.
Mhm.
So
it was
I'm
definitely
okay
a
with giving
catalyst.
Pete his room and his props and stuff like that because I met a lot of you guys through Pete over the years and stuff, and he's become a friend and sweet life goes. He's busy though. My God, that
Yeah.
guy is always working.
Hey, look who's here. Jovel de Postas.
Jovel,
Hey, Chevelle!
Javel.
good to see you.
Right at the end, Chevelle at the end. like Dale Palmer. So yeah, I'll be back. I'll do my thing tomorrow. We'll figure that out. I gotta figure out a guitar I'm going to play tomorrow. I know Trev's choice. So
White guard.
Well, see, that one needs a little bit of work.
The output jack is a little flaky, so
You got to see
a lot. So we'll see. Maybe it's due to go on the bench too because I really got to replace the battery in it because I put the battery in it 3 bands ago. So like I want to say 2016. I replaced the battery in it, and I'm pretty sure I haven't replaced it since.
Hey,
So,
wait a minute. What's going on down here in the chat, man? Between you see Jimmy and Jovel down there.
All right.
Some more YouTube as the YouTube turns, huh?
Wouldn't be the first time. What?
Right.
That's a question for me for a Buffalo meeting, folks. If you want the answer to that one, that's as Trev knows. There's certain questions you can ask me and certain stories that are only available behind the Iron Curtain.
Yep.
Join buttons should be right under here.
Yeah. So,
Well, Ben, thank you for having us on. I had a lot of fun.
For sure.
glad to do it, guys. Glad to do it. Thank you for subbing in. Super subs, super strat, super stub. All super duper. There we go.
Right on.
Things in life
There you go, folks. If you haven't already, you've been watching 2 hours, and if you're not subscribed, come on, quit being weird. Hit the subscribe button.
It's free.
It is. It's
Click
free.
the bell.
Yeah.
Hit the thumb.
That's free too.
Hit the thumb. That's always good. And I'll be back sooner, if not later. And as always, hold those doors open. No, Doug's probably home by now, but you can let him in ahead of traffic. Oh, this time of year,
Let somebody in.
he's watering concrete. Well, he's making ice in all the hockey rinks this time. So really, literally, he's just out there watering concrete for hours. So I'm like, so what are you doing? Watering concrete. I'm like, fuck. All right, sure,
I
bud.
spend a good amount of time waiting for water to boil. Just saying.
Was that too? All right, be good to each other, folks. Hold those doors open, and of course, don't let her